with Simon Edvinsson, another young guy. Marco Kasper is the second-line center. He was a rookie last year, first rounder in 2022. The team waived Justin Hall, remember him, and Eric Gustafsson before the start of the season. Like, 9 years, you should be fully in the, wow, we've got, like, guys that are entering, getting out of entry level and on their next contracts, and they do, I suppose. But, boy, do they have a lot of guys who are basically taking their first steps in the NHL. And when that's the case, what are the expectations for the San Jose Sharks? What are the expectations for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Pretty small or pretty low. In Detroit, despite 9 years of failure, is kind of on that same timeline. It's very strange.
Yeah, I feel better about the potential for the San Jose Sharks. Maybe it's just because they have a couple more names that some big-time prospects, generational prospects.
They got to pick at the top of the draft where, Brandsteg Nygaard, I don't know when he was drafted, but probably in the 12 range.
Figure it out for you. Number 15th.
There you go.
Overall. Okay, let's talk about the Atlantic Division. That was a big stepping stone or a big goal for the Leafs last year to try to win the Atlantic, set yourselves up. The Atlantic a little different this year, at least to start. The Panthers dealing with a lot of injuries already. The Bruins right now at the top of the Atlantic. I mean, I don't know how much you feel like that's going to work. Fraser Minton looks like he fits in there. Great, though. But, yeah, okay, Sabres, Red Wings, bottom of the Atlantic for the last little while. I don't know if they're making enough steps to challenge. Lightning are a sexy pick to be the winners of the Atlantic. Canadians and Senators, like on the outside looking in, you feel like one of those teams has got to clinch a playoff spot this year. Should it be the Maple Leafs' goal to be at the top of the Atlantic? Is that a must-do this year? It felt like a must-win last year. It really drove our conversation. It really drove like a pivotal, I don't know, landing spot for the Leafs all season long down the stretch. Hey, let's win the Atlantic. Let's win the Atlantic. What's the goal this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's as binary where it's like, okay, success dictated 82-game regular season on winning the division. I think it's going to be more difficult to win the division. Again, it's hard not to reference the departure of Mitch Marner, but you saw a talent loss, surely, this year, and you're a different team that's going to have to make up 102 points. That he provided. You have your best player who's without his wingman. A lot's changing. And I think there will be a bit of a feeling out process and getting back to the point where you feel at your most competitiveness. But when you look around the division, it just feels like everyone's coming closer to the center. Panthers, class of the NHL, huge injuries. It's going to be difficult for them not to repeat as Atlantic Division winners, but to just do what they did last year, which is come third, I believe, in the division. Tampa is in a good spot. And as you mentioned, a lot of people are picking Tampa. A lot of people like Tampa because what's not to like about Tampa? But they are not as talented as they once were. That's been demonstrated and underscored by their success or lack of success in the playoffs. The Senators and Canadians made steps. I think either of them are winning the division. The Bruins have taken a step back last year, but should take a small step forward this year. And I think the Red Wings and Sabres have to be trying to be better. Of course, they're trying to make the playoffs this year. So it feels like everyone's coming back down to the center. And I don't know what that's going to mean for positioning and where the Maple Leafs ultimately net out. But I do think it's going to be highly, highly competitive between as many as 6 teams for 3, 4, or maybe even 5 spots.
Is it the most competitive division in the NHL?
I think 1 through 7, yes. I mean, the Metropolitan Division, there might just be one good team in the Hurricanes.
Like, let's look at that. Yeah, I think the Penguins not good.
Pacific Division, there are obviously a couple good teams. The Golden Knights and Oilers might be 2 of the best teams. Bottom. The Canucks and Flames are definitely good. The Kings are good. But the Sharks, Ducks, and Kraken could be 3 of the worst 10 teams in the league pretty easily.
Central Division, very top-heavy. Again, Avalanche, Wild, Stars, Jets, the rest.
I would probably, if the Predators can be, and the Predators, if you look at their lineup, maybe they can't.
They were the winners of the offseason.
The Predators and Blackhawks are bad. The Jets, Mammoth, Blues, Stars, Wild, and Avalanche should be all competing for a playoff spot, though, as well. So it's between the Central and the Atlantic, and I think just the amount of teams that could be, like, I think you could scratch the Blackhawks off. I don't think you can scratch the Sabres off in the same way.
Really?
Yeah. The Sabres have talent. Like, they just might be cursed, and it just may never be a thing for them because they must have wronged something or someone in the karmic forces that govern the world. But
Yeah, they won 36 games last year.
like, they've continued. Well, I mean, they traded JJ Peterka away, and like, I don't know. Maybe they're just spinning their wheels. But I think
They had a minus
I don't know.
20 goal
They
differential.
played in a 7-game series against the Blackhawks. I take the Sabres.
Okay. I don't know if I would, actually. I think I'd take the Blackhawks.
Well, news for us is that we'll never see that.
Never going to happen. Maybe in a Stanley Cup.
In a lifetime, we will never see
Never see it. We would never, ever see that. We wouldn't even see it in that Stanley Cup. Okay. So, in terms of motivation, I think, sure, having a great standing in the Atlantic, very, very important. What about Matthews' individual? Not that he's an individual in terms of his goals, but I think there's some sort of narrative around him this year. Can he singularly, without Mitch Marner, be a driving force of the Maple Leafs' success? Like, he hasn't had to really prove that ever. And this is a big-time opportunity for him to be at the top of the standings, to be in the trophy nominations, to be a guy that leads up the Olympics, hopefully not all the way to a gold medal, and just finds his own pathway without being tied to number 16. And I'm intrigued to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it. Obviously, there's the narrative with Marner, and there's an adjustment with Marner. But it's not as though Austin Matthews is on an island. Plays with a really good player in Matthew Nyes. And they're going to play together the entire season. I can't imagine there will be a change to that. Matthew Nyes is in the Olympic discussion, I think, for Team USA. He might
but
not
he's
be
not
there
Mitch
yet.
Marner.
But he's not Mitch Marner. But he's more of a suitable running mate for the style of play that Craig Berube is trying to govern or trying to put out there, trying to employ.
He's a Berube guy.
He's a Berube guy through and through. And
He's like if Berube went back in time and wanted to be a player.
He's mini Berube.
He's mini Berube.
Probably a bit of a better scorer.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be. Berube wanted to be nice when he was a young guy. Don't we all?
Yeah.
And we're not young anymore, but we all want to be Matthew Nyes. Anyway, I'm a little bothered by the Mple deployment. I was bothered that, the fourth line injury to Lawton changed everything. I was pretty excited about Lorentz, Lawton, and Cowan as a potential unit. And you lose Cowan or you lose Lawton, and it's a house of cards. You can't have Domi on the top line anymore. And I think if we're putting Matthews in his best position to succeed, I think some familiarity or as much familiarity as possible would be nice. Like, I just don't know if there's going to be there chemistry there between Matthews and Mple. And I did love what I saw way back when with Max Domi, Matt Nyes, and Austin Matthews playing together on a top line in Mitch Marner's, or at least his absence, in that certain situation. I want to see Domi in that spot because I think that's where you're going to get the best Domi, and I think it puts Matthews in the best position to be to get off on a really good start. And of course, you want to see that given the context of Marner, and you want to see that after an injury-plagued season last year.
Yeah, and Scott Lawton week to week from what we heard from Berube. So that could be, let's just say, sometime in November we get him back. But you're right, when we talked about it with Luke, that fourth line center spot, it changes everything. Having Domi slot down to the third line, that chemistry. Like, I really agree with you. I liked Domi, Matthews, and Nyes. It's a big spot for Mple, a guy that has not played enough hockey in the NHL at this highest level, with someone like Austin Matthews to be in that spot. Like, a huge opportunity, but it's a big shoes to fill. And I thought Domi just had a little bit more to give there. Now it's a bit more spread out. I'm so surprised that David Kampf is the top line center for the Marlies, and that's just like what's going to happen now. It's just weird seeing the Marlies lineup come out and it's like Matthew Nyes.
Bit of an indictment on the Marlies.
I mean, not Matthew
David
Nyes,
Kampf.
David Kampf.
I mean, I hope he's not getting 25 minutes a night because that's not the best use of time for your American Hockey League team. I hope they find a better situation for David Kampf. What else I don't like about it is that the third line is now Joshua, Domi, and Robertson. Domi proved that he shouldn't be playing center, and yet he's playing center again. Nick Robertson has been thought to not belong on this team, but he's still on this team. And Dakota Joshua, I don't think I've seen a really positive shift yet, something that got me excited yet. And now he's playing with guys that are a little bit incompatible in terms of what they should bring. Like, Joshua and Waugh made so much sense as just a nightmare line to play against defensively. And now they're just kind of thrown into these positions. And, yeah, Yarn Croak played really well, I guess, on that fourth line in game one. But it just feels like you're kind of unhappy after that Lawton injury with 75% of your forward lines. And it's just kind of the reality of a team that's trying to turn over a roster and is closer without David Kampf, but is still not quite there yet.
It feels like they're just going to be looking for a trade until the trade deadline.
And I don't even know it's
like who's the person?
Is it just like the dominant right side force for Austin Matthews, like a Mple replacement?
Or someone like,
is it a third line center? So Nick Waugh is not your third line center, but I kind of like Nick Waugh as the third line center. It's not a fourth line center. You got it in Lawton. It's not a bottom six winger. Like,
no, we have enough of that.
Yeah.
I think the high end, it's someone to play with Matthews.
I think it's the Mple replacement.
You got to be thinking about a team that's out of it, that's got a top line winger.
Yeah, we're not there yet. I mean, Brian Rust exists, but you don't have any first round picks to give to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
When's the next time they have a pick? It's long. It feels like a long ways away. But
they've nothing in the cupboards.
Yeah.
So it's
it just feels a little bit incomplete, and I'm not upset with it being incomplete for the first little bit. Like, you're giving an opportunity to learn about these players, but it does feel like we will be talking about this after New Year's about a trade deadline move that might be pending a big upgrade on the forwards. Like, the defenseman pretty much set. Like, I feel pretty confident about the back end. It's very much like it was last year. It feels like
it's very solid, very Berube.
Solid Berube defenseman. But that top six probably needs a little infusion of something.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than just the Mple replacement. Maybe Matthias Mple will knock our socks off. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll be not even Diet Marner. It'll be like,
yeah, we've given him one game.
There's like steps in that. Anyway, maybe it'll work. But it does feel like you could make an upgrade right side. You can make an upgrade in terms of your power play quarterback. You could make an upgrade in your center ice position, middle six. Those are three options. And team building is a 10 months a year thing. The only times you can't team build is when you're actually in the playoffs. So it's ongoing. No team is set on October 13th or whatever the day of the season that they start on. It's going to take some time. They're going to be building as they go. But the currency in which you need is pretty slim in order to actually acquire major talent.
It might be the year that Nick Robertson is a trade piece. For real.
Again, is that going to bring back the fix?
Maybe with something else.
Perhaps.
What are your thoughts on the Easton Cowan hold? Hasn't played a game in the NHL yet, has made the roster, is now missing the first two games of the regular season, isn't playing for the Marlies, who have yet to play their second game. It's tonight as well. So it's not like he's missing 2 weeks of AHL opportunity to be on a top line. I've seen that debate a lot. But if he doesn't play by Monday or Tuesday, then that's getting weird. Monday, Tuesday, back-to-back against the Red Wings and the Predators, both at home. Great opportunity. Like, if you're Easton Cowan, and if I'm Craig Berube, I want to give Easton Cowan the opportunity to make his NHL debut at home. Well, you get two chances next week, Monday, Tuesday. It's Thanksgiving. Get the family in the building and have him have his big rookie lap. Like, this is a big moment. This kid is the #1 prospect for the Maple Leafs. He's been itching to get his chance. He's a London Knights kid. Like, it'll be a big deal when he gets that moment in the regular season, but I don't want to see it happen not Monday or Tuesday.
I would expect that it happens Monday. Maybe, winning lineup. Maybe they win tonight, and it's like, no, we're just going to keep rolling this back, and that would be a little bit not unfair to Easton Cowan, but not ideal for Easton Cowan, who should be playing games, as you mentioned. Probably taking up some of those minutes I don't want to see David Kampf get with the Marlies. But anyway, I just don't. It's Lawton related to me. Like, where is the best spot in the lineup for Easton Cowan?
Well, I think you kind of want to let him figure that out.
Is it just replacing Nick Robertson? Because Nick Robertson was better than him in the preseason. Nick Robertson is a better NHLer at this point. The only reason you make that decision is because clearly you have more invested in the future of Easton Cowan, and I get that. But it's not a win now move. It's not particularly fair to Robertson. And I just don't know if that's the best spot.
Have they ever really been fair to Robertson? He's the guy that gets kicked out of the lineup.
I don't know. He makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money. He plays in the NHL. Like, I don't feel too bad.
No, I don't feel bad for him either. But I mean, it's never been like, oh, what does Nick Robertson need or want? Like, let's think about his feelings. He's always the first guy out. So I would be
It's-
surprised if on Monday he's not
That's
out
all for a
and
reason.
he's in.
Though. That is for a reason. It's just like, okay, so he plays with Dakota Joshua and Max Domi, an incongruent tandem on a third line that makes no sense. I loved putting them with Lawton and Lorentz on an energy fourth line. Go out there and bang a little bit. Go out there and make something happen. 45
But
seconds.
Domi's the London Knights connection.
He is. And Domi has some of that I crave.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like it. You know, you're playing against a top 6 line likely. And that's not ideal.
Moment feels like a win. From midweek matchups to do-or-die Game 7s, Weisers is there. From the first puck drop to the final buzzer, we're all in. Because it's not just about the team on the ice. Here, it's about us. And when we gather with JP Weiser's whiskey for game time, that's a W. JP Weiser's, the official Canadian whiskey of the Detroit Red Wings.
All right, guys.
Have him ultimately. If it doesn't work out, get your feet wet, fourth line with ideal circumstances, then maybe just go to the minors and play. Because
That's going to upset a lot of people, but I think it's a fair point.
What I watched in the preseason, we wasn't banging the door down for me.
Yeah, and that's why he played in a bunch of preseason games. I forget how many he got, but he was probably the most played Maple Leaf over those preseason games because he
played in virtually every game.
Yeah, I think he did play in either
Missed one.
Okay, so I mean, that's when you're supposed to prove it. That's when camp is supposed to show that you've taken steps. And everyone was talking about how he has taken steps, like literally taller and larger, but also a better hockey player. But when we watched that one game at Scotiabank Arena, he was doing a lot of turning over the puck and doing a lot of loop-de-doops. And, you know, Armin's nodding because he noted that a lot too. I also think that's nerves, though. Like, what is it, 9 games in the burn the contract?
Yeah, start the clock at 9 games.
Like, I'd like to see him get a few. Like, if he comes in on Monday and it's an NHL debut and he looks overwhelmed, I'm not writing off the chance that he could make an impact. I think he needs a couple games, and if it's not there, it's not there. It's early enough in the season. It's not going to lose you an opportunity to play in the playoffs. But I do think it's important to give the guy a chance to play a couple games and see. And then if it's very evident, it's very evident. We'll see you next year. Go to the Marlies and go win a Calder Cup.
You could easily lean on Lorentz Waugh and Yarncroke for third line duties.
And they're really responsible.
Playing with Domi.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think it's, you're not giving him too much. You can massage the situation for sure. And he's got to get in there soon. I think they want to put him in there soon. The other part of it, in addition to the winning lineup, is that, I know they don't owe Nick Robertson anything, but Nick Robertson probably has family in attendance tonight in Detroit, in Michigan, and is playing tonight. I think it'll happen at home for
You're
Easton
so
Cowan.
Emotionally connected to the
Well, you were
family.
just talking about that with Easton Cowan being at home.
I agree. I think that's fair.
That's how it happens.
It is fair.
Like
it should happen on Monday.
It's already pretty tenuous between Robertson and he just has just starts the season, winning lineup, scratch him with family. Like again, you gotta.
I think that's a good point, and I think that's probably part of it that went into it today.
If I'm being honest, though, I think they feel more strongly about having a special Easton Cowan debut than having this night for Nick Robertson.
Okay, so if Monday and Tuesday are back-to-back, where we will see Primo at probably, let's say, the second game, Nashville Predators.
Yeah, it could be the first, could be the second.
I'm a little just worried about how long we tread water with Anthony Stolarz. Like the whole Joseph Wall thing aside, and you hope that everything's going well. Like, I mean, I don't know. The fact that we don't have any information, the fact that Luke Fox doesn't even know if he's on the ice, it's a good point that he raises. It's not like he busts down the door tomorrow and he's ready to start a game. Like, it might take a couple weeks. I don't know if Caden Primo is the guy that can shoulder 40% or 35% of the load. Anthony Stolarz is he's a great goaltender, but he was part of a tandem that worked really well because they kind of split these games and they challenged each other. And, both him and Wall hadn't played a full NHL season as a starter. Now you're throwing him in there with a guy that's unproven behind him. It's a bit risky.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell here how dire the situation actually is. But you nailed it with the 40% thing. Like, eventually 40% is going to have to come from somewhere else, another source other than Anthony Stolarz. So far to this point with Stolarz getting the nod,
he looks great, but
100% is
know.
Anthony Stolarz. But it's not going to be 100% for very long. It's going to dip towards that 60% mark. pretty soon. And
Stores has had some injuries in his career.
Hildeby could get some starts. I'm willing to reserve judgment on Caden Primo. Let's see it. Let's see what happens.
Well, we might see it. Dennis Hildeby
we will see
stopped 32 of the 33 shots that he faced in his season debut today with a 4-1 win over Rochester.
The Joseph Wall thing could be the reason why they don't win the division. It could be the reason why they're not the second seed.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the reason why they start on the road in the playoffs. Could be the reason why they're not a top 3 in the Atlantic Division because it's going to be so competitive. But if Joseph Wall returns after 6 weeks and minimal damage is done, and you have the starting goaltenders or the starting tandem that everyone envisioned being a strength of this team, then it's not going to be an issue. It just depends on what this all looks like for Joseph Wall and how much flexibility the Maple Leafs actually have.
Partner of the NHL. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. T&Cs apply.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The fall get-together is here at Canadian Blood Services, which means it's the perfect time to grab your crew, hit up a donor center, and experience what you get when you give together. It's not just about donating blood and plasma. It's about showing up and feeling like we actually did something. Jesse, you're up. Awesome. Be right there. Book an appointment today at blood.ca and experience what you get when you give. Canadian Blood Services. Who's saving who?
When it comes to the best tool for the job, you know it's black and yellow. DeWalt is here to set the standard, put in the work, and get the job done without compromise. Just like you. If you're proud to work in the trades, Team Black and Yellow is for you. Follow at DeWalt_CA on social to join up.
Hey, it's Taylor, and we're celebrating a brand new era.
Are you ready for I can do it with a broken heart.
Welcome to the life of a showgirl on my channel.
Now for a limited time.
You got that dream look in your eyes.
Taylor's Channel 13 on Sirius XM.
At home with the Sirius XM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
And baby, that's show business for you.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid, and they need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong, Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan. And
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group, and I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change, and we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Martins gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound, Caulfield, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert wrapping up our 1-hour pregame show as the Maple Leafs are about to hit the ice at Little Caesars Arena to face the Detroit Red Wings on Hockey Night in Canada. Happy early Thanksgiving to our listeners. Lots of sports to watch this weekend. I know we're all ready for tomorrow night's Blue Jays ALCS Game 1. And Monday, a little bit of a head-to-head with the Blue Jays and the Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings all over again. So lots of sports to watch in this city over the next couple of days.
Yeah, the actual events were head-to-head, but not anymore. Maple Leafs moving their puck drop time off. I was going to say tea time. I guess, people would have got that. But having to move up the start time, I guess that's more applicable in order to make sure that everyone can watch the Jays on Monday. That's going to make for a hell of a holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Monday of TV slug mode watching. I can't wait for that.
Yes, I will get few steps in from the turkey to the couch to the stuffing to the couch.
You mix in the itis dinner of all itis dinners into that sort. That is a dangerous elixir that we have planned here for Monday.
Yep, it'll be fun. But we'll get you set for tonight's game. So Leafs, Red Wings. The Leafs have had a pretty great record against Red Wings as of late. They're 22-5-3 versus Red Wings since the start of the 2016-17 season, and they went 3-1-0 against the Red Wings last season, outscoring them 14-10. It's actually their second best record versus an opponent in the NHL since the 16-17 season. So they cook against the Red Wings. Highest goals per game on the road versus any opponent in Little Caesars Arena since 1920 season, not the 1920s. Since 2019-2020.
I don't think Little Caesars was slinging pies in 1920.
Really? I think they did pretty historic.
Maybe they
did. We'll get the date on.
We'll get the establishment or the establishment date on that.
But about 4.78 goals per game against the Red Wings on the road. So I'm anticipating tonight being a little high scoring and probably in favor of the Maple Leafs after the Red Wings had a brutal start to the season. But you raised a good point in our pregame show. Their coach was rattled with the appearance of the Red Wings, and he called them out. So maybe they have a little fire under them tonight.
That segues me to my key to victory if you want to set me up for the key to victory.
I would love to set you up for the key to victory. The key to victory is brought to you by Rona. Rona knows the game we love is hard on the home, so make sure your home is ready to take on hockey season. Visit Rona.ca for more details. Build it right, build it Rona.
Yeah, Todd McClellan is probably surly on his best day, and he was not happy after the Red Wings were punished 5-1 in their home opener, their first game of the season by the Montreal Canadiens, who were still licking their wounds after losing on opening night to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was speaking to the media like they had lost 10 in a row in mid-January. It's cold outside, but the coach's attitude is a little colder. It was really, really direct, and that I think reflects a lot of the feeling in the Red Wings organization after 9 years of not making the playoffs, which followed up a quarter century of making the playoffs. So I think there's some desperation organizationally. I think there's some desperation from the coach, and I think we could see some early desperation from the Red Wings tonight. So the key to victory is to absorb the early push. I think the Red Wings are going to have a good start, and it's on Anthony Stolarz and the Maple Leafs to make sure that they are not rewarded for coming out pretty hot.
Start on time. We've heard that one before.
Yeah, I was trying to mix it up because you could just use start on time for every
I like
key to victory.
You put some great background in there.
Thank you.
The listeners will be
Tried
very
hard.
pleased about the poll with the coach and the quotes. You did your work. You did your work there. Did your research.
Thank you.
Why don't you give me my player to watch?
Yeah, you were looking into your crystal ball, so it's probably time to get your picks. The player to watch is presented by Bet365. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
We are so back. I've missed my players to watch. I've missed my best bets, my single game scores. I take a lot of pride in researching to provide the best. So Austin Matthews and Patrick Kane are set to meet tonight for the 17th time. Both have been pretty good point producers when facing each other, but I think Matthews has the edge here. So in 16 games against each other, Matthews has 10 goals, 11 assists. Kane has 7 goals, 10 assists. Matthews has scored in each of the last 3 meetings versus Patrick Kane and the Red Wings. It's his 3rd career 3-game goal streak versus Detroit. Matthews likes to cook at Little Caesars. So he's got 19 goals in 26 career games against the Red Wings in general. So a Matthews anytime goals plus 130. I like him 20-1 for 2 goals tonight. 20-1 for 2 goals. And plus 750 for 3 points. I think if it's going to be a high-scoring game, which it projects to be, as I read earlier, they have the highest road points percentage against the Red Wings. Maybe he gets a couple points, maybe he gets a couple goals. And if you feel positively about the matchup in general versus Patrick Kane, well, he hasn't scored against the Leafs. He hasn't in the last 5 games. So maybe he gets on the board tonight. That's plus 325 for a goal, but he's got points in all of those games, so minus 120 for a point.
Where Patrick Kane would land was one of the big conversations a couple years ago in the NHL, and it's not exactly been fruitful. It just feels like he's kind of playing out the years with the Detroit Red Wings. And again, maybe there's a chance the Red Wings can find some success this year and maybe in some subsequent years, but the last chapter potentially of Patrick Kane's career has not resulted in him, going back to the Stanley Cup stage in which he has starred on previously with the Chicago Blackhawks. I'll give you the line and the current reality for Patrick Kane on this Todd McLellan-led Detroit Red Wings lineup. Top line, as mentioned earlier, features Emmett Finney, a former 7th rounder, playing with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. Marco Kasper will center Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat, so some familiarity there, but a young center in Marco Kasper. Andrew Kopp, JT Compher, and Michael Branseg-Nygaard on the third line, another rookie in the lineup for Detroit. It's Jonathan Berggren, Michael Rasmussen, and Mason Appleton on the fourth line on the back end, and they've done some work on the back end, jettisoning Justin Hall before the year. Ben Sherrod and Moritz Seider on the top pair. Simon Edvinsson, Axel Sandin Palika, another rookie for the Red Wings. Albert Johansson, Jacob Bernard Docker, another young guy on the back end for the Detroit Red Wings. It's a young team that'll be starting a veteran goaltender in Cam Talbot after the other guy, John Gibson, was chased in his Red Wings debut. Beautiful setup for Gibson. He looked nice.
He did
the pads
look gorgeous.
and jersey. Michigan. And Calle Yarncroke on the fourth line. Calle Yarncroke played some top line minutes, so we'll see if that happens again.
Yeah, he had a little pop. You might get some stock on Calle Yarncroke.
Him and Morgan Riley, the 2 standout performers in opening night for the Maple Leafs. Speaking of Morgan Riley, he'll be on the top pair with Brandon Carlo. Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev form the shutdown pair with Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Simone Benoit rounding things out. It'll be Anthony Stolarz getting his second start of the season and Caden Primo backing up and waiting for his debut with the Maple Leafs.
All right, only about 2 minutes. Is there anything we didn't cover or anything we need to say in our hour 15 pregame show?
Ooh.
Let's go Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about the Blue Jays, and we've been talking a lot about the Blue Jays. I just think I thought it was a sleepy preseason. I thought at times in opening night it was a little sleepy. If it's just a gradual build, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like,
time to ramp it up.
I don't think the training wheels are going to be completely off, and the training wheels being like training camp is kind of an extension now, getting into next season where there's basically no preseason in 84 games. It's just going to bleed in. But can they be a little sharper tonight? Can we see a little bit more from Mple, see a little bit more from Dakota Joshua, make us feel a little bit more excited about the new additions after, bringing in a full-fledged line for the money that Mitch Marner used to take up and now does so in Vegas.
Yeah, and I feel like just to add on to that, the power play needs to pick up a little bit of pace. Slow start to the post-Marner era. They allowed a shorthanded goal in the first period. It just didn't look like it was flying, and that's a big part of the Maple Leafs offense, so it has been in the past. Obviously, some new mechanics happening there with Morgan Riley running it, and that's something that, as you said, training wheels, time to take them off and ride with it. So we'll see. Hopefully they get a couple power play opportunities and capitalize on one. I think that would make them feel great, and it would stop us from wondering if it's already fallen apart.
Lost in the key to victory files was cleaning up the neutral zone. Some ugly neutral zone play for the Maple Leafs in night one. A little niche, though, I thought, for the key to victory, but they could clean things up in terms of their passing and just risk-taking in the neutral zone.
Okay. We get a bonus key to victory to get you set for the game.
You wanted me to say everything that I needed to get off my chest.
There you go. All right, Puck Drop with Joe Bone and Jim Ralph is just on the other side of the break. Maple Leafs, Detroit Red Wings, Hockey Night in Canada sounds great to us. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Your home for the biggest stories in the league is Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Hi, this is Bob Popper from Airing It Out. The International Series continues in Week 6 with the Broncos and Jets in London. We discuss the early season surprises. Plus, we get you ready for a potential Super Bowl preview with the Lions and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Rolling Enzo caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mountain. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch of highway we haven't been able to cover, So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have a take and don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings playing back-to-back games. They'll be in Toronto on Monday afternoon. And the Leafs with opening night win against Montreal and a disappointing loss to the Canadiens for the Detroit Red Wings that had their head coach, Todd McClellan, up on the podium, giving it to the team and the post-game rhetoric. At least the starting goaltenders, the custodians of the court cottages tonight. Anthony Stolarz back in goal for Toronto. He has a .935 save percentage after the first game. Meanwhile, Cam Talbot, who came on in relief of John Gibson, who gave up 5 goals on 13 shots. And Talbot finished the game without giving up a goal and has a 1,000 save percentage as a result. He'll get the call as a change for the Red Wings here this evening. Are you surprised at that? They traded a lot for Gibson, and obviously he's getting upset.
Didn't get a save. Cam Talbot just came into the third and stopped 4 shots. That's all he was able to face or had to face. So, yeah, I think, it always seems Detroit, Philadelphia are the cities that are always goaltending's a problem, right, over the years.
Well, they have certainly had some issues here already, and we'll see what happens here tonight and see how the Red Wings respond to really being called on the carpet by their coach 1 game into the season. Leafs left to right on your radio dial, shot into the Detroit zone. Played around the boards on the right wing side by Mple. Matthews corrals on the far half wall. One hands it back to the blue line, tried to send it back into the corner. It didn't reach Nyes, but now Nyes comes away with the loose puck. Can't get it in front. Mple dragging it along around back of the net. Larkin will finally get it up on the wing, chopped at there by the Wings, and it'll be cleared by Lucas Raymond to center ice. Tanev is back in his own zone. Being hounded and turns the puck over. A paddle down play made by Stolarz. Blocked it from coming out in front, but the Red Wings have it in the offensive zone after a change of players. But a blocked shot allows the Leafs to bring it out. Nylander on right wing. He'll shoot it deep into the Detroit zone. Chopped along the boards by Bobby McMahon. Puck goes back into the corner for Tavares. This line was outstanding in the first game. McMahon trying to get a puck to the front of the net, had it blocked. Now Tavares back of the net, had to go right by him. Pinching down is Brandon Carlo to keep it alive for Toronto. Carlo again with it on the boards, has it blocked, and the Red Wings break out. Potential 2-on-1 here. Andrew Kopp on the right wing side, and a good save. The rebound! And a good save made again by Anthony Stolarz.
Boy, Brandon Carlo got away with the first pinch, but the second one was blocked when he tried to keep it in, and a non-bad rush back the other way.
Robertson getting it down into the Detroit zone. Bernard Docker will bring it out into the center ice area and gets it up on the right wing. Kasper into the corner. Had a man going to the front of the net and DeBrincat, but he couldn't get him the puck, and the Leafs turn it back up ice. Playing it off the boards is Robertson to get it into the offensive end. Dakota Joshua into the forecheck, but can't come up with it. Nice little touch pass. Those brings the Red Wings potential 2-on-1 up. Backhand shot went wide. Leaf defenseman did a good job of taking away the pass, and goaltender Stolarz stood his ground.
I don't think Craig Berube is going to be thrilled with the number of odd man rushes in the early going of this game, and that's something Todd McClellan was harping about with the Red Wings.
Icing call coming against Detroit, who have the first 3 shots on goal in the hockey game. The first period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Anthony Stolarz is looking sharp again. We talked about it before we came on the air. Leafs go down 2-1 in the second period to Montreal, and what does Stolarz do? Shut the door. And the Leafs are able to come back and get the win.
Face off to the right in the Red Wing zone. And the draw controlled by the Wings, but they play it around into an empty corner, and the Leafs are going to get there first. Back to the point. One-timer in front of the goal. They score! Yarncroc was in front of the net, but was it he or... well, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Or is it Yarncroc?
Yeah, well, Yarncroc took a swat at it. Nick Waugh was there as well.
too, yeah.
And I don't know if Waugh might have swept it in before Yarncroc got there, but a very simple play where Steven Lorenz throws it back to the right point and a wrist shot by Chris Tanev. Bounces out front, and yeah, I mean, Yarncroc might have put it over the line.
Nicholas Waugh was right there, too. So we'll wait for the official announcement on it.
The puck was already over the line before Yarncroc took a swipe at it. But either way, the Leafs opened up a 1-0 lead early in Detroit on their second shot.
How do you like Steven Lorenz's start to the season? 2 games, 3 points.
2 years ago with Florida, he had 4 points all season.
The Red Wings get it down into the Leaf zone. Left wing side for Sherratt. He banks it purposely wide of the net. It goes around back of the goal to the near side. Sherratt will pinch again to keep it alive. Back of the net then for Emmett Finney. Finney cycles it back behind the net. Trying to come out with it is Raymond. They'll play it back to the point. Sherratt, another shot in traffic, comes in front. Big play made there by Jake McCabe. Or no, that was Brandon Carlo, excuse me, 25. He took down the Red Wing player with an empty net on the backhand available. Wraparound attempt again, stopped on the short side by Stolarz. Good response here from Detroit, but the Leafs cut off the cycle, and they're able to carry the puck out into the center ice area. Matthews turning back into neutral ice to allow a change of players. It was his line that was hemmed in the Toronto zone. Played down into the Detroit end. Yarncroc from Roy and Tanev is the scoring play for Toronto, and a 1-0 lead for the Maple Leafs.
From the angle we saw, it was hard to tell if Yarncroc touched it before it crossed the line. It appeared to be heading in. Yarncroc had 1 goal last year and now has 2 in less than 4 periods this season.
And Andre Roy has picked up his first point as a Maple Leaf. Centering pass comes in the slot. Still free in front. And it deflects off a body and went wide. Leafs back at the goal. Trying to come out of the corner with it in traffic is Willie Nylander. He plays it ahead off a skate, and Tavares gets to the red line, and he's going to shoot it in, and the Leafs are going to change.
Still only credited the Leafs with 1 shot on goal. But it was a rebound, was it not? I'm pretty sure the original shot from Tanev got through.
Puck in the center ice area. Detroit backpedaling with Edmondson. Got it up on the wing and sent down into the Toronto zone. And Tanev will swing it around the boards and get it to the line. And a good collision at the blue line there with Dakota Joshua to get it out. Now the Leafs have it again under control in their own end. Tanev reaches the red line, and in it goes into the Detroit end. Puck around back of the net. 1-0 Leafs here with 5 minutes into the books. Back of the net. Behind the back pass by Domi was blocked. He gets the rebound. Banks it back to the point. Carlo can't send it to the net. Gets it back to Domi, who goes rink wide to the left wing side. And a shot by Morgan Riley. Deflected just wide. Domi keeps it in for Riley on the left wing. He can't send it to the net, but plays it down into the corner. Leafs trying to get their cycle game going a bit. And the Red Wings will get it out into the center ice area. Oliver Ekman-Larsson for Riley. Riley carries slowly to center. His pass, I don't think, must have touched the Leaf stick because there's no icing. I didn't think it did. Sherratt getting it back to center and clears it down into the Toronto end. Stolarz out of the goal to play it down into the corner. That's drawn a crowd in around the official, but the Leafs are able to dig it out. And a rink-wide pass gets to center, and Lorenz had to get his head up there as he took a bit of a hit. Got the puck down into the offensive zone. Wings shoot it right back out at center. Tanev, right wing board, sends a high floater into the far corner. Dylan Larkin first back, but the Leafs get it back to the point. The drive is into the glove of Cam Talbot. as the Leaf defenseman stepped right into that as it came back to the blue line. Calle Yarncrook has got the Leafs on the board. It's 1-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Spice up your fall with exclusive music specials and more in the Sirius XM app.
You put me on and said I was your favorite.
From cozy acoustic mixes to rowdy Oktoberfest, just search fall in the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs with a 1-0 lead. Calle Yarncrook gets a bit of a gift.
Yeah, I mean, watching the replay from the overhead, you could see it was heading in, but it was sort of wobbling. And so Nick Waugh would have had the goal, but if you're Calle Yarncrook, you can't wait.
No.
And see if it's going to cross.
Because the next thing that happens is a stick arrives on the scene and deflects it wide, or the goaltender puts the paddle down somehow. You got to make sure it gets there. Shot into the corner. Matthews couldn't come up with it. And the Wings will get it out at center. But it's turned over, and now trying to get back on side was Matthews. Didn't succeed. Whistle down, face-off coming out into the neutral zone. Philip Myers, Easton Cowan, and Sammy Blah are the scratches, which is the same lineup that the Leafs used in beating the Montreal Canadiens the other night.
And that might be, I don't want to call it the kiss of death for Easton Cowan, but if the Leafs get off to a decent start, Craig Berube is likely to just keep rolling out the same lineup.
And you know what? I understand everybody has a job, but to be questioning him every day is, when is Easton Cowan going to play? Well, he'll play when it's time to play. I mean, it's not that he's doing anything derisive about him. It's just that, hey, other guys are playing pretty well too. Who are you taking out? Well, you go and talk to them. Here's a bouncing puck in front of the Leaf goal that is turned back now by Matthews. And the Leafs have it in their own zone and got it ahead to Nyes, who was able to deflect it out into the center ice area. I guess that's one of the ways one of the coaches should do that. All right, who are you going to tell that you're coming out of the lineup? If you ask somebody, you get the question, well, who are you taking out? Well, then you got a problem, because then all of a sudden everybody's got to think.
I always used to know, a lot of teams in the minors, if your jersey wasn't hung up when you got to the rink in your stall.
That was a bit of a hint.
Yeah. Or if your equipment was already packed, that was another hint.
It was under the bus, and it was 32 below outside. Pretty good hint. You're not playing, Newt.
And it wasn't the same bus the rest of the team was on.
It was the Express to Sheboygan. Wings bring it to center, and they're going to flip it in. Kopp gets it down into the right wing corner. Morgan Rielly, who had a solid first game on the Leaf defense, gets it out to the wing, and a long shot was deflected just wide of Stolarz. Rielly double teamed back of the net. Frank Nygaard trying to get it up on the wing for the Detroit Red Wings, but it's shot down the ice. And an icing call is going to come here against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I was really surprised to see one of the stats that we got about how close Morgan Rielly is with Thomas Kaberle over the course of their careers. and how, as far as points, games, and everything else that's gone on.
Yeah, 5 points behind
career.
Caberly for second all-time in defense scoring. Well behind Boreas-Solling, but still.
Wings get it back to the point. Long shot, deflects, and is volleyballed into the corner by Brandon Carlo. Wings get it back to the blue line again, trying to cycle it around, and it's going to be cleared out and down the ice by Toronto. It's rolling on edge. Won't have enough to go for icing.
Yeah, Riley, 515 career points. Thomas Caberly, 520 as a member of the Leafs.
I honestly didn't think Thomas Caberly had scored that many goals. Just 5 behind Morgan Riley. But the funniest part about the Caberly number...
Overtime.
Oh, yes. Got like 15 overtime goals. Wouldn't shoot during the regular time, but shot a lot when he was trying to win the game. Cleared back out at center, and the Leafs go back with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Leafs will shoot it in. Change is coming. Played down the boards. Robertson into the forecheck. Nudged off the puck as it came out in front. Rings are able to get it freed up. And they'll play it ahead. And now Leafs turn it over again and get it down deep into the corner. Nicholas Roy playing it down in along the boards. Lorenz sends it around to the right wing side for Tanev. Tanev back behind the net for Roy. He uses his frame to protect it there for Lorenz. Lorenz in the corner to the side of the net. Comes in front. Oh, and Yarncrook almost got there in time before Cam Talbot got the glove on it. But the fourth line has been excellent in the first 3.5 periods of play.
And we're good in the opener against Montreal. Yarncroc scoring the goal in the second period that tied it. And it's just very workmanlike, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
It's every cliche and saying you can come up with in hockey. Get pucks in deep, win the one-on-one battles, get the puck to the net, get traffic in front, and that's been the formula for them.
Play it around the boards to the right wing side in the Detroit zone. Leafs steal it back. Nyes pushes it in on the left wing with a weak shot in on goal. Talbot handling that easily. Unable to get to it then was Mple. And the Leafs forechecking here as the Wings play it off the boards out at center ice. Brandon Carlo breaks up the rush momentarily. Brought in over the line by Lucas Raymond. Raymond dropping it back, getting a shot away. And that deflected off a body in front. And Nyes is going to gingerly play it out into the center ice area. We've reached the halfway mark of the period. Shot right back down into the Toronto zone. Benoit plays around the boards to the far side, and Tavares backhands it to center ice out of the reach of Nylander. The Red Wings bring it back to the line. That's going to be offside. They collided right at the blue line, and Brandsig Nygaard had the puck, but he pushed his teammate offside, and whistle went. Leafs with a 1-0 lead. Kelly Yarncroc from Roy and Tanev, and it is 1-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 is paying out before the final buzzer.
Check out Bet365's early payout for NHL hockey. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 3-goal lead, you get paid no matter the final score. And with early payout, you could be on your way to a winning parlay.
Early payout, just another reason why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
An official partner of the NHL, must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. Terms and conditions apply.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around in the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation. Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The shot scores! Bobby McMahon with the shot from the right point.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Detroit Red Wings haven't made the playoffs in their last 9 seasons, and that has reflected in how the Leafs have done against them. Since 2016-17, the Leafs are 22-5-3. Against
the only team they have a better winning percentage against, not wins, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes. That boggles the mind, doesn't it? Apparently that team has made the playoffs.
Yes.
Gone fairly well into them, too, as it's shot down into the Detroit zone and whistle at the blue line.
One thing I do remember, Dylan Larkin scored his first NHL goal in his first NHL game. It came against the Leafs. Mike Babcock's first game behind the bench in 2014. Larkin, by the way, has 577 points. He was 15th overall in the 2014 draft. He has the 6th most points from that draft class, but it includes Draisaitl, Nylander, Braden Point. It's a pretty good group in front of him.
Bouncing pucks, hit the goal post, rebound back at the goal. Stolar's down, got a glove up to knock it down. Oh, that was in behind him, but it rattled off the far post. Wings with it now in centering pass, blocked there again by Stolarz. Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets it ahead. Bobby McMahon trying to get it out. Batting at it and still can't. Rings in. Right wing side. A shot. Oh, good pad save with the left leg by Stolarz, who's been outstanding. He's faced 7 shots. Puck along the boards and taken down on the play was Sandin Pellikka. No call, I don't believe, from the official, at least the one that's by the Leaf goal.
Boy, the Red Wings have really come on. That's the best pressure they've had in this period.
Ekman-Larsson
to go.
Sorry, Ralphie, and Marco Kasper having a bit of a dissertation, but Stolarz has made 4 or 5 real good saves. That one took a crazy bounce.
Hit the post.
And then the scramble was on.
Oh, yeah, the save off to Brinket. That left pad, yep. Had shades of the 1970s, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. He stuck that pad out like he was doing the splits. Wings control the face-off, and a centering pass comes off a skate and grabbed off now by Toronto's Dakota Joshua. He'll play it too far for Robertson, but it goes in on goal. Scooped away by Cam Talbot. Leafs unable to keep it in. No, they do keep it in. Joshua working into the corner. Robertson tries to get it back to him and does. Dakota Joshua back of the net. Bank pass to the blue line. Fed right back around the boards to the near side. Domi trying to center, but it was knocked away. And the Wings will get it out into the center ice area. Mason Appleton rolling a puck in on goal and scooped aside. And the Leafs have it under control back of their net. McCabe and Tanev exchanging the disc as the team is changing its forward complement. And fresh off the bench is Nylander, who gets the pass and brings to center. He'll shoot it down into the Detroit end. Bounces back at the net. Nylander comes out in front of the net, had it knocked off his stick. Corrals in the far corner to get it back to the point. Coming, shot, scores! A deflection in front of the net.
And Kelly Ehrencroft was there again, Joe.
But it's Nick Raw who is going to the bench first. So the big elongated centerman got robbed by that greedy Yarncrook on the first goal, but this one is going to be his.
Boy, this Morgan Riley will pick up the assist. The point shot, boy, it was both Yarncrook and Waugh waved at it in front of the net. And Nick Waugh, this is a perfect redirection. It's above the crest, heading towards the Detroit net and goaltender Cam Talbot. And Nick Waugh just chops it down and through the pads of the Red Wing netminder, and the Leafs 2 goals on 6 shots on goal.
And the fourth line has the Maple Leafs out in front 2-0. Got down into the Toronto zone. Poked into the far corner, but the Wings are on it as they get it back to the point. Sherratt will send it down around the boards, out of the reach of Lucas Raymond. Raymond then trying to dig it free, but was knocked down there. The puck is underneath them, and the Leafs are going to get it to the line, but not out. Wings keep it in with a shot coming. That was stopped by Stolars, and the Leafs will get it to the line on a delay, and Matthews has it in his own zone. Puck comes back into the Toronto end, and a pass ahead across the line. Matthews scores! Oh, hit the goal post. I thought that was in the back of the net.
Boy, that might have been post crossbar, and out there was that delay. I was with you. I thought that might have hit up in behind the crossbar. But Austin Matthews, I mean, he hit that so hard. And you could hear it, and then puck ends up flipping down and back out into Cam Talbot as Matthews took the pass in the high slot. That's a little reminder of a couple of years ago, isn't it?
Shoot the puck, young man. Shoot the puck. Long drifting shot wide of the Red Wing goal. They'll get it out at center with 6:36 to play in the first period. And the Maple Leafs have got a 2-0 lead on Detroit, who have been outscored now 7-1 in their first two games. Nylander circles back to come away with the loose puck.
Didn't Matthews lead the league last year in posts and crossbars?
I believe so. And around back of the net, it's played to the point. Grabbed off by Tanev to the left wing side. Comes back to Nylander. He'll backhand towards the front of the net. Backhanded into the corner by Bobby McMahon. Now Tavares trying to keep it in. Does momentarily. But the Wings get it out at center and get a change started. Tanev's going to rip it right back down into Detroit territory. Leafs with a 2-0 lead on the Red Wings. Have the puck in the offensive zone. Back of the net for Domi. Domi back of the goal again, and now Robertson coming out of the corner is tripped. Penalty coming. Can't see an official. Oh, there's the guy right there who was right beside it and didn't call it. Okay. Played by Casper, and he'll send it high into the center ice area. Referees tonight are Brendan Schrader and Pete McDougall. Steve Barton and Michel Cormier are the linesmen. Played back down into the Toronto end. Riley reverses the puck for his defense partner, and Brandon Carlo gets it ahead for Yarncrook, who gets it out at center. And he's going to play it deep into the Detroit zone with 5 minutes to play here in period number 1. 2-0 Toronto. At the point, kicked in by Riley, but not far enough to get it to a teammate. And Jonathan Berggren comes to center for Detroit to get it in over the line, only to have it turned over there. A pass up on the left wing for Nyes. Little stutter step, carries back of the net. Stops it up, comes out in front, and had it go off his skate. And the Wings are going to get clear of it and get it down to the league blue line and force Benoit back into his own zone. The story has been the Leafs have been opportunistic, and Anthony Stolars has been outstanding. Leafs in over the line. Matthews trying to find Nyes in front of the net, or Michelli in front of the net, but couldn't. Puck at the blue line, and Nyes will free it up, and now Leafs bring it to center and get it to the line, but not in deep. Nyes decides to go back to his defense. Played on onto the left wing side. Michelli going to the front of the net, and a bouncing puck came in on goal, and Talbot had to knock that away. Matthews after it as it goes around back of the net. Michelli is into the forecheck as it's played off the boards, out and down into the Leaf end. No icing. Morgan Riley is quickly there to play it up on the boards, and the Leafs getting it ahead at center, and they're getting a little more zone time now as it's played deep into Red Wing territory. Sandin Palika. Axel Sandin Palika getting it into the slot area, and a shot is deflected by the blocker of Stolars, and now we're getting a penalty.
Now they're going to call a trip, which he might have been on a scale of 1 to 10, a 5, where the trip against the Leafs was a 7, but the Red Wings, who have not had a lot of offensive zone time, just that one shift, where they had the Leafs back on their heels, but they'll get the first power play of the game.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Don't sweat the Sunday morning fantasy football roster decisions.
Need your help, need your help, need your help.
Let the experts of Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio be your guides. Jeff Radcliffe, Jeff Mans, and Matthew Barry's Fantasy Life keep you informed with up-to-the-minute injury news and start-sit advice.
He's a must-start. He's playing a bad defense, and he's going to go off.
Get the info you need on game day all season long on Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs go to the power, or the penalty kill, rather, and it's brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid. Proudly built here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today. Wings get it into the slot. Down low into the corner, looking for Larkin in front of the net. Kane coming out with a pass that was deflected in front of the goal. Brandon Carlo in the box for tripping. Puck to the side of the goal, paddle down, pushed into the corner, then by Stolarz. Wings get it, but the Leafs have grabbed it off and brought it to center ice. And Roy sends a long shoot in on goaltender Cam Talbot. Steven Lorenz not available.
No, he went to the dressing room after, I think it was after the hit by Ben Sherratt.
Played around the boards to the near side. Larkin backpedals it into the corner. Pass caught back to the blue line, kept alive by Seider. It goes into the far corner for Kane. Kane looking to come out in front. Minute 12 to go in the power play. Kane with it in the far corner. Back to the point. Quick pass off of skate. Kane is able to corral the rebound. Got it back to Seider again. Near side looking is Raymond. Down to the side of the goal. Backhand pass in front. Kane couldn't handle it. Kane with it again. Far circle with a pass down low, and it's chipped just wide of the lead goal. 45 seconds left in the penalty. Another shot goes wide of the lead goal. Chased down by Nyes. Nyes tried to get it freed up and does. Benoit with a chance to rattle it around the boards, and he sends it out and down the ice. Much needed icing there by Toronto.
Wings' only goal came in the power play against Montreal. 1 for 4. They were actually 4th best in the NHL last season.
Riley and Nylander have assisted on the Roy goal as the Red Wings have the power play for another 10 seconds down in the Toronto zone. Looking in front of the net for Andrew Kopp, but it comes back to the point. Walking the line, Sandin Palika can't get a shot away. Off on the wing and a shot. Pad save, and a good one made by Stolarz. Puck to the side of the goal. Corralled there and backhanded by Roy out into the center ice area to complete the kill of the penalty. Shot down into the Toronto end and forces Tanev back. Tanev with a pass up into the slot area, brought on by Bobby McMahon, and he's going to clear it down into the Detroit end. Wings after the puck in the far corner. Got it up on the boards, but not much further because McMahon is able to block it. Under a minute to play in the period. Chipped along the boards by Albert Johansson, but he can't get it out. Then Nylander got taken out by the referee. Trying to go behind the net to force the issue. Wings get it down into the Leaf zone. Pass into the slot area, and a shot taken, deflects off goaltender Stolarz, and the Leafs have it under control. Slowly to center, and McMahon sends it in. Robertson will get there first. Swings it into the far corner for Domi, who is off the bench. He can't get by the checking, and the Wings will get it played out and down to the Toronto blue line. 16 seconds left to play in the period. Quick pass in over the line again. Wrist shot taken there by Joshua, was deflected off the end boards, smothered at the side of the net by Cam Talbot. And a face-off coming in the Detroit end with the Leafs up 2-0.
Boy, that last rush for the Leafs was reminiscent. Montreal had a 2-0 lead late in the first period a couple of nights ago and scored off the rush. And that was one of the things that Todd McClellan was upset about. Saying, you know, you might give up 2 or 3 good chances off the rush in a game. He said we did it 6 or 7 times in the first period.
Face off to the left of Cam Talbot. Leafs won the draw, but it was so cleanly. It's come all the way back into the Toronto end. 2 seconds left in the period. And the Leafs will take a 2-0 lead to the dressing room.
Well, Anthony Stolarz, you're right. I mean, he really was the story. 13-8 the shots for the Red Wings in the opening 20 minutes. The Leafs, a couple of old-fashioned goals, throw the puck to the net. One was a rebound, one was a deflection, but it has them up 2-0.
And both were by the Leafs' fourth line. Yarncroc from Roy and Tanev. Roy with his first in a Leaf uniform from Riley and Nylander. And the Leafs with a 2-0 lead to enjoy in the dressing room. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The NHL on Sirius XM. Just it's different.
Oh, Wilson crushed Zadorov.
Every big goal.
It's a power play goal.
Every crucial save.
Sergei Bobrovsky displaying acrobatics.
All with a little home cooking with the hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the best player on earth.
And we're discussing the daily drama on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltendings? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong, Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan. And
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group, and I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change, and we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mountain. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch of highway we haven't been able to cover. So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM, the Leafs Radio Network.
Corrals in the far corner to get it back to the point. Coming, shot, scores! A deflection in front of the net.
And Kelly Ehrencroft was there again, Joe.
But it's Nick Raw who is going to the bench first. So the big elongated centerman got robbed by that greedy yarn truck on the first goal. But this one is going to be his.
Well, welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 2-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 20 minutes at Little Caesars Arena. And Calle Jarnkrok was in the Rocket Richard race after the first couple games.
Yeah, good start for him. Doubles his goal total from last year in a contract season. Not predictable at all. No, it's been a good start for Calle Jarnkrok. You got a little, there's, you can hear the footsteps behind you a little bit of maybe one Easton Cowan or really anyone else fighting for position with this Maple Leafs organization. Calle Jarnkrok looked like he was on the outside looking in, and now he looks like he's forming a meaningful partnership with Nick Waugh, despite those two trying to steal goals from each other.
Yeah, honestly, I know we're tongue-in-cheek a little bit with the Rocket Richard, but this is a guy that dealt with a lot of injuries in his career. Last year, he played 19 games and scored 1 goal. This year, he has multiple goals. He's doubled, tripled. He's going to have a potential career year if he keeps it up. It is good to see. You definitely need to have more goal scoring throughout the top of your lineup and the bottom of your lineup. It wasn't a place that, produced a lot for the Maple Leafs. And so good to see him get on the board. I jokingly tweeted out, maybe makes the Olympic roster. Honestly, I don't know Sweden's forward depth too much. It might not be that far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little far-fetched. There's some good players on the Swedish team. Just looking at the roster now, projected, maybe the worst forward would be Fabian Zetterlund. Hey, maybe they need some guys who can kill penalties and play in the fourth line. I'm not really sure they'll go that route, but if he continues to score in this fourth line, maybe they'll give him a look. Unfortunately, there was some bad news for the fourth line, which looks like the standout line of this entire Leafs team at the moment. Steven Lorentz left the game with an injury. I don't know if we have firm news on what it looks like moving forward for him, but a bit of a collision in neutral ice with Ben Sherratt, who is a big body that we know and probably don't love from 2021. But yeah, he immediately came up a little lame, went to the bench, did not return. The fourth line had William Nylander out there for its second goal, so boosted in that sense. But even with Steven Lorentz, looked like there was some meaningful chemistry building between those three. So unfortunate to see Lorentz go out.
Yeah, Lorentz, Lawton, a couple fourth-ish, bottom 6 players at least dealing with some injury now. And we talked about it in the pregame. Lawton was going to be week to week was the way it was worded to us, but maybe we see some of the Easton Cowan discussion pick up now, and you don't have 2 guys in the bottom 6.
Yeah, again, I haven't really thought of how that all looks with Steven Lorentz potentially out, and we'll see. But if it's a Robertson or Cowan thing, if it becomes a Robertson and Cowan thing, what does it look like in the bottom 6? I'm not quite sure, but you just be missing some veteran presence, and certainly Steven Lorentz provides that. And again, you liked what you saw from that fourth line. Lorentz, Waugh, and Jarnkrok, since his inclusion, playing really well together. Been impressed with what they did, and it continued without Lorentz, but will it continue without Lorentz? I guess that remains to be seen.
4 periods for the Leafs and 3 goals from the bottom 6. That's something that you don't hear often from the Leafs. There was also another moment where Austin Matthews had a gorgeous release, crossbar and out. It almost felt like it hit the back post, but it definitely didn't. Upon further review, he was my player to watch, so I have my fingers crossed that comes through. But that was just a lethal release from him. I'd like to see him score one that is not an empty net. So lots of time left, and he likes to score against the Red Wings.
Good to see, though. That looked like vintage Austin Matthews. That release is special, and it pops off the page, pops off the screen. Certainly did on that one. Beat Cam Talbot clean. Just got a little too much of that crossbar.
Okay, let's take a break because on the other side we have to do an out-of-town scoreboard. We got lots to go through, like 16 NHL games tonight. We'll talk a little bit about how Anthony Stolarz looked in that first period, specifically on the first 3 opportunities for the Red Wings, which came in a hurry. Keeping it 2-0 for the Maple Leafs. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona, we wouldn't change a thing. That's why we make sure your home can take any hits hockey throws its way. So hockey can keep taking over your laundry rooms, your living rooms, your garages, your kitchens. Make sure your home is ready for hockey season with Rona. Build it right, build it Rona.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Okay. First question. When does Desjardins Insurance suggest you switch to winter tires?
Below 7 degrees. Easy.
Nice. Next, what's a smart way to save money on your home insurance?
Switch to Desjardins Insurance and you could save up to $900 when you bundle home and auto. Easy.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. EyeSight Driver Assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Let's do this. Mondays on City TV.
Rex, back to work.
This season on Hudson and Rex.
You up for it?
Rex has new cases to solve.
What do you got there?
And a new partner to solve them with.
So you're the new guy. I didn't think you'd figure it out.
And they're taking crime fighting.
I think you underestimated my partner.
To the next level.
Rex is on the job.
It's action.
She's dangerous.
Adventure.
Go get help.
And a whole lot of fun.
Nice work, partner.
Hudson and Rex. All new Mondays at 8 on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 2-0 lead for the Leafs after 20 minutes at Little Caesars Arena. Eilish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert with your intermissions. As a reminder, Leafs Talk will be back tonight with Sam McKee and JD Bunkus. We will send you to that. No Blue Jays tonight, so they will be fully dialed in unless they're watching the Cubs and the Brewers, but that's okay.
Could be a more focused edition.
Yeah.
An entertaining one after night one.
For sure.
Nonetheless.
It was entertaining. Before we wrap up this segment and send it to the second period, Anthony Stolarz was tested early. A couple odd man rushes right off the start. Three in a row for the Red Wings in the first couple minutes before the Leafs got that first goal by Yarncroke, and he stood super strong. Like, this is what the conversation is going to be until we have word on Joseph Wall and if if Caden Primo's a eligible backup to make 30-40% of the starts, but I like what I saw from him so far.
Yeah, clearly the biggest difference between the two teams in the first period was the quality of goaltending. Anthony Stolarz wasn't necessarily challenged way more than Cam Talbot because there were some quality looks for the Maple Leafs generated and quality goals scored. But Stolarz dealt with a lot and dealt with it quite nicely. He was really, really good in that period, and it feels like I say that during every one of these intermissions.
Yes, you do. Okay, let's do our out-of-town scoreboard. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Bet365. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I left you enough time, hopefully, to get through everything.
Yeah, 16 games, as you mentioned, so it may be enough time. Mark Scheifele scored twice as the Jets beat the Kings 3-2. In Winnipeg, the Blues beat the Flames 4-2. Jake Neighbors had a pair of goals in that one. Ongoing right now, just starting the second period, Bruins have a 1-0 lead over the Sabres. The Devils up 3-0 over the Lightning, end of one. It's 2-1 Panthers leading the Senators, end of one. Brad Marchand has a goal in that one. Capitals have a 2-0 lead, end of one over the Islanders. 1-1 Rangers and Penguins. Mike Sullivan looking for some revenge. Flyers have a 1-0 lead over the Hurricanes, and it's scoreless Canadians and Blackhawks at the end of one. Still to come tonight, the Mammoth and Predators, the Blue Jackets and Wild, Stars and Avalanche, Canucks and Oilers, Sharks and Ducks, and the Golden Knights and Kraken in the latest two expansion teams going at it.
Yeah, and I saw one of our Sportsnet social sites posting out that they interviewed all the Canucks and asked them who their biggest rival would be, and they said the Oilers. So that will be a big one tonight. Hockey Night in Canada underway, the first Hockey Night in Canada of the season.
Very exciting. That's a good way to close up shop on the first Saturday night of the season, Oilers and Canucks.
All right, it's a 2-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after goals by Yarncroc and Waugh, just as you painted it up. No Austin Matthews yet, but maybe this period. Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen will have the call of the second period. Next, you're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Now through October 31st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues. To be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 in the SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB Postseason Heroes 2025. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 19th. You must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong, Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan, and
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group, and I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change, and we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on SiriusXM FC 157
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Go on along with Jim Ralph. Armin Zagarian, who has just made a coffee run for Mr. Ralph, which was very nice of him. And Derek Brandeo, pushing the buttons to keeping us on the air here in the studio, and the Leafs with a 2-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings on goals from the fourth line. Kelly Yarncroc from Roy and Tanev at 2:27, and Roy from Riley and Nylander at 12:29. And the Maple Leafs outshot in the period 13-8. And the story, as well as the fourth line, is the fact that Anthony Stolarz was pretty darn good.
Stolarz was great, but the fourth line is going to take a hit. Steven Lorentz is not returned. Only played a minute 17 of the opening period.
Played down into the Red Wing zone. They defend the goal to our left on your radio dial, and the Leafs to the right. Bouncing puck. Leafs keep it in. A pass off to Matthews. Back to Nyes. Tried to return the favor. Comes to the side of the goal. And Talbot was able to get a pad down. One of the Leafs was taken down behind the play and is complaining about a possible penalty, but nothing comes. And now Mple, touch pass, nicely played to Matthews, left wing side, in with a shot, and it ramped off a stick of Sider and went over top of the net. Kept in by Toronto. Down the boards and along the wall now. Nylander centering in front of the net for Riley. Tried to make a little touch pass there to Bobby McMahon, who was coming down the slot, but it was cleared by the Red Wings out into the center ice area. Brandon Carlo up ahead for Riley. Riley to center. He'll shoot the puck in, and around the boards it's going to go into the right wing corner. Red Wings get it freed up to the line, but Riley is able to keep it in, but as he sent it towards the net, it goes off his stick and goes over the glass and out of play. And Steven Lorentz out of the game after taking a hit in mid-ice.
That was by Ben Sherrod, I believe, yeah.
You know, it might be head-related more than anything. He didn't seem to be laboring any part of his, maybe shoulder. Yeah, I don't know, but it was in mid-ice. Certainly hope that it isn't anything too serious.
Well, but now, there's your fourth line. Now you've lost Scott Lott and Steven Lorentz already. So if you're wondering when Easton Cowan's going to get in the lineup, well, just wait.
Yeah. Sometimes the question gets answered for you, doesn't it? Leafs won the draw, and a quick shot off the wing by Joshua was deflected wide of the goal. Wings get it out at center. Bouncing puck to the blue line. Fed back into neutral ice. Joshua to Domi and across the line, right wing side. Domi into the slot. Robertson got a weak shot that went wide. The goaltender swimming around out into the corner, and it ended up being played around the boards, and the Leafs can't keep it in.
Dakota Joshua got pushed into Talbot, but I think if the officials are going to see that differently.
Robertson unable to get the puck out. Wings keep it in, but turn it over. And it's pushed off the near boards into neutral ice, forcing defenseman Simon Edvinsson back into the neutral zone to play it to the league blue line. Simon Benoit off the boards to center. Backhanded in across the line, but stolen back and sent to center by Detroit. Leafs go back into their own zone. The makeshift fourth line with Nylander on it now, seeing some extra ice. Puck along the boards. Leafs are able to get it out. Push it ahead for Willie. Right wing side, trying to work in over the line. Trying to work it back towards the net with a shot, and that deflected wide. Yarncrook after it. Roy playing it back along the boards. Nyes freshly off the bench, able to break up a Detroit rush. And the Leafs have it again on the left wing and have banked it down into the Detroit end. Better start for the Leafs here in this second period. They've had more territorial play down in the Detroit end. Puck now back into the Toronto zone. Working down the wing, Finney trying to get it in front of the net. Off a stick, it goes to Nyes, and he wheels out on the right wing. Nyes across the line, stopping it up. Looks back towards the blue line. Sends it back into the corner for Matthews. Matthews for Mple. Mple makes a couple of elusive moves to get some ice. Got it towards the net. That was blocked. Nyes trying to center. Mple couldn't get his stick on it. And it's cleared by Detroit out at center ice.
And that could be the third time, Joe, in the second period, the Leafs got a little too cute. Trying to make passes in front rather than just get it to the net. And when you look at how both goals went in the opening period, it was pretty simple. Throw it to the net, look for rebounds and redirections.
Riley with a lead pass to center for Tavares that didn't connect. Wings get it back into the Toronto zone and around back of the net now for Andrew Kopp. Back to the point. Wings keep it in as it comes to the point again. A long shot in traffic is blocked. Comes to the side of the goal. Centering in front. Oh, and a one-timer there by Rasmussen was deflected wide of the Leaf goal. And the Leafs are going to get it out at center ice.
That was Morgan Riley. Joe got his stick on it.
Wings back in across the Toronto blue line. Into the corner, sent around by J.T. Compher to the near pole. Centered in front of the net. A shot whistled wide of the Leaf goal. Kept alive on the near boards. Kopp gets it into the corner, returned in front. It'll bank back to the point, and the drive coming, and that went off a body in front. Riley just trying to get it out, and he has, and he's done well by just sending it down on the opposing goaltender. Leafs get a much-needed change with the long change during this second period. Wings bring it back in with Patrick Kane centering. That bounces wide of the Leaf goal. Kane back of the net, can't get it in front. Has it again as he gets it back to the point. Long shot. Pad save through traffic. Leafs don't get it out. Robertson gets it up on the wing, and it's cleared to center ice. I spoke too soon about the Leafs' territorial advantage. Wings doing a good job here of hemming the Leafs in their own end. And an errant pass up the boards by Benoit was stolen back. Cleared to an open wing. Pushed out at center ice by Toronto. Shot right back in again by the Detroit Red Wings. Down into the corner it goes for Marco Kasper. Stolen back by the Leafs and played around the boards to center. Both teams trying to get changes going here. Domi line out for Toronto. Played in back of the net. Stolar's down, is knocked down, and as he gave the puck away, but the Leafs break it out. 2-on-1 break. Robertson trying to get to it. So is Domi, and the shot is stopped by Talbot.
Boy, Anthony Stolarz gave the puck away in behind the Leaf net. Then fell as he was scrambling to get back to try to stop the point shot as it was funneled back to the left point. And Max Domi is able to block it, and that set up the 2-on-1, but Nick Robertson just couldn't catch up to Domi to make it a legitimate 2-on-1. And Domi, which you like to see, you got an option to shoot it, get it to the net. He does, and Cam Talbot's able to cover up.
Yeah, there was no chance of getting it to Robertson for any kind of a play at the net. McCabe keeps the puck in for Toronto. Back of the net, Roy turning, looks back in front, still has it, coming out with it with a shot. Oh, on the short side. He almost snuck that in, didn't he? McCabe into the corner again with Nylander. Back to McCabe. Shot blocked. It comes to the line. McCabe kept it in momentarily. The Wings get it out at center and then force Tanev back to retrieve a loose puck and get it out at neutral ice. Brought in. That should be offside, isn't it? Tanev takes a two-handed slice there from Mason Appleton. Wasn't that offside?
It was close. Tanev a pretty good hit on Appleton though right before that.
Played out at center ice. And I mean, if Appleton thought it was offside and he took the hit, I have to agree with him, you know. Leafs in their own zone. Michelli starts out to center, plays it in for Nyes, left wing corner. Nyes in along the boards, can't get it away from Edmondson. Matthews centers in front of the net, and a glove save made by Cam Talbot. Austin Matthews got it away in a hurry on a good setup from behind the net.
Well, Matthew Nyes, what a great job in the forecheck to get in, get the puck, and eventually find Matthews in front of the net.
2-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365. An official betting partner of the NHL. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. T&Cs apply.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass, or cup, or whatever you pour your Molson in. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona, we wouldn't change a thing. That's why we make sure your home can take any hits hockey throws its way, so hockey can keep taking over your laundry rooms, your living rooms, your garages, your kitchens. Make sure your home is ready for hockey season with Rona. Build it right, build it Rona.
Making waves in the Atlantic.
Holy mackerel, what a turn of events!
The Toronto Maple Leafs, live on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Second period is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at desjardins.com/care today. 2-0 Toronto. First period goals from Kelly Yarncroc and Nicolas Roy. Wings get the puck to the line, push it out at center, stolen by Nyes, wheeling in on the right side. His backhand drops for Matthews. Couple of moves to carry back at the net, couldn't get it out in front. And the Wings have it now and bringing it to center with Lucas Raymond. Raymond dropping now for a shot taken there by Edvinsson, or at least Dylan Larkin rather, and it went high, maybe off the blocker of Stolarz. Leafs get it down into the Detroit zone again. 12:35 to go, second period. All of the scoring in the first. Stolarz out of the net with a bouncing puck to contend with. Cooley plays it into the corner to his defenseman. One-touch pass and the Leafs are out again. Here's a shot by Tavares that is gobbled up by Talbot. And he will stop play with a face-off coming in the circle to the left.
I mentioned, you just mentioned Dylan Larkin with the opportunity. I know I mentioned earlier that he's sixth most points in his draft class. What about this? As far as you saw what Connor McDavid signed for in Edmonton, Dylan Larkin is the highest paid Detroit Red Wing player, $8.7 million on the year. He's tied to be the 46th highest paid player in the NHL, tied with Patrick Laine and Sidney Crosby.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Shot goes into the screen. Another faceoff coming in the Red Wing zone. Tavares out there.
Shots on goal now a little closer, 16-15, still favoring the Red Wings.
Now Domi on the wing with Tavares and McMahon. As Nylander has been playing with Nicolas Roy since Lorenz was injured. So some juggling going on here at the Leaf bench. Oliver Ekman-Larsson couldn't get the puck. It comes back to the point. Sandin Pellikka sends it in around back of the net. Gobbled up there by Comfer. He gets it back to the point. Wings get it off to the near side. Sandin Pellikka with it again. Can't send it to the net. He'll get it back from the corner. D to the left wing side. And now a pass into the slot. A weak shot and then a good save made there by Domi to tie up the stick of the Red Wing player as Brandis Sig Nygaard was unable to send it to the net and forced to send it wide. Played back into the Toronto zone. Stolarz couldn't knock it down in the corner. On the far boards, the Leafs try to get it freed up. And Roy plays it gingerly into the near corner, forcing Benoit after it. Benoit loses it, and the shot scores on a turnover. Red Wings on the board, Marco Kasper. Benoit couldn't catch up to the relay around the dasher board. And the Wings jump on the turnover, and it's 2-1.
Leafs have spent a lot more time in their own zone here in the second period. And this was one of those plays. Nick Waugh just kind of chipped it around behind the net, but it was a little too hard for Simon Benoit to catch up to it. And it was cut off in the corner and funneled out in front to Kasper, who was wide open in front of Anthony Stolarz, and he snaps it up and over the left shoulder, short side of the Leaf goaltender. It's a brand new game, 2-1 now Leafs.
Kasper with the goal. Shot down into the Toronto zone. Tanev punching it to the line, but another turnover, and then the Leafs are able to recover it. They'll play it off the glass to the blue line and in, just out of the reach of Yarncroc. And back at center ice it comes. Roy gobbles up a loose puck and got it ahead for Calle Yarncroc. Yarncrook couldn't get it into the zone, but the defense will, as they'll launch it high into Detroit territory. Kane going to get the assist on the turnover. And boy, I don't know how they got an extra assist out of that somehow, but
I think the Brinket might have actually been the first one there, Joe.
Yeah, might have.
Tip it past Benoit.
Here the Leafs in across the line. Drop pass for Domi, and the wrist shot went off a stick and went wide. Wings back out at center ice with Berggren getting to the line and in. Into the slot now with a chance for Sandin Pellikka. And that got to the net, but the Leafs blocked it with a lot of bodies in front and have launched it down to the Detroit zone. 2-1. Leafs with the lead here in the second period. Played into the Toronto zone again. Puck up against the boards. Shots are 18-15 in favor of the Wings. And Detroit fans getting into it a little bit now as the puck comes to the side of the Leaf goal. Can you imagine if Detroit had won that game in extra innings last night, what this weekend would have been between these two cities?
What, back-to-backs?
Yes, back-to-back games. That would have been magic. Here's Mple turning and dropping for Matthews. Matthews comes through the neutral zone with a little deke, but can't get it in deep. Red Wings counterattack on the right wing side. Raymond into the slot area. Matthews back checking. Took that away from him. The puck goes back to the net. Stolar got knocked down in front of the goal. It goes around back into the... Oh, what a save that was. Now the rebound in front. Stolar stops that. And he had it in his glove, but he let it go. And the Leafs are going to get it out at center ice. I think he thought the whistle went.
Well, he got up and he just speared one of the Red Wing players.
Here the Wings back in the offensive zone. Raymond trying to keep it in. Comes to the side of the net. Knocked down in front. Carlo took his man Larkin to the ice. Puck comes around to the near side, but not out. And a rising shot goes high and wide. Good pressure here from Detroit, looking for the equalizer. Near boards. Mple can't get it out. Bernard Docker back to the point. Wings hold it in, get it into the slot for Larkin. Near side now for Bernard Docker. A shot, got a rebound chance, and it went wide. Brandon Carlo is without a stick and can't get the puck out and can't get to a new stick and is doubled over as well from blocking a shot. He tries to sprawl again. It comes into the slot area, another shot. That goes off a leg wide. Leafs need to just get it out, and it's going to be launched high to center ice by Matthews. Carlo is hunched over, heading to the bench.
I wonder if Anthony Stolarz is shaken up a bit.
And a shot glove by Stolarz is going to be held this time. Did you not think, and I think he's talking to the official now, I had it underneath my glove, but he made 2 or 3 dandy saves against the Wings to keep the score at 2-1. We're back. After this, you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
He's Mick Jagger. I pitched him a joke and he went, not funny.
We give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And join Tom, Papa, and Fortune Feimster every day for interviews with the biggest names in comedy. Netflix is a Joke Radio, Channel 93. Search comedy on your SiriusXM app.
Under review. And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Detroit Red Wings lead the league in one category for sure, and that's the most hyphenated names. Bernard Docker, Brandtsig Nygaard, and Sandin Pellikka. Never mind their first names. Wings control the face-off against the boards and into the corner. Stolen back by Tavares. He'll play it out and down the ice. And it's going to go wide of the Red Wing goaltender for icing.
You can throw Ekman Larson in there for good measure. Of course, it's got to be the Red.
Yeah, but I just call him OEL.
It's got to be the Red Wings against the Maple Leafs, too.
Yes. Well, there's hyphens all over the place, I suppose. Yes.
But Todd McClellan's got to be thrilled with what he's seen. Maybe not on the scoreboard, but the effort of the Red Wings, because Leafs dominated early, but been all Detroit since.
Bouncing puck, controlled by Tanev, trying to get it up the wall and gets it to the line and out. The Wings have it again, though. They turn at the red line, and it'll be shot right back in again by Brandtsig Nygaard. Michael Brandtsig Nygaard. A lot of things happen while you try to get their name out. Not all good. Volleyball to the blue line for Detroit, but they can't get it in deep. Now they do bring it in. Drop for Kane. Nice little move to get around one. Kane works back on the boards on the near side. Sends it to the net. Couldn't get a redirect there from DeBrincat. Couple of former Blackhawks. Into the corner again. Played around back of the net for Kane. Kane up on the left wing side. Played it back to the point. Wings holding it. Played it down into the corner. Getting it back to the point again. A shot by Sherratt. No, goes to the left wing point. Kept in by Detroit, but back of the net. Tanev has cut the cycle off and played it on the boards. But the Leafs are unable to get it by initially, but do the second effort and get it back to the Detroit blue line. Leafs getting another change going. They haven't been able to get the puck in the offensive zone to force Detroit into some problems, as a deflection there stopped by Stolarz, and the Leafs still do not get the puck out initially, but now do.
And now you've got Nick Robertson has been out with John Tavares and Bobby McMahon.
Played around the boards on the far side. Bernard Docker plays it into the Toronto end, where it is spun right back off a stick. Roy getting it down into the Detroit zone. Played off the boards on the far side. And the Wings will play it in over the line. Bouncing disc towards the net, scooped aside by Stolarz. Back of the net now for Larkin. Trying to wrap it around in front of the net. They do and score. Raymond off to the side of the net has tied the game at 2.
And again, simple plays, get it deep, and win the battles, and the Red Wings have won a lot of them here in the second period. As the Leafs shovel it up the left wing boards, Raymond is actually the one that keeps it in, throws it behind the net, and then goes to the far post as Larkin picks it up. In behind Stolarz in the Leaf net, and then turns and throws it to Raymond, who's coming late. In fact, the first attempt, Joe, went off Nick Waugh's skate and right back onto the stick of Larkin. And that split-second delay gave Raymond extra time to get open. And Lucas Raymond has his first of the year.
And the Wings have fought back from a 2-0 deficit in the first period to score twice here in the second. As the Leafs get it down into the offensive end for a change on a pass in front of the net, looking for Matthews, hit a skate. Unable to come up with it there was Mple, and the Wings have it again to center. Played in over the line. Tanev taking it back, cycles it back on the boards, and Matthews getting it up on the left wing for Nyes. Nyes was tackled there by the Wings defenseman, and is there a penalty coming here?
It just might be an offside.
Sider literally tackled Nyes, but apparently no call on the play. A break here with 4:28 to go in the second period, tied at 2s. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Capital One, we're more than just a credit card company. We're people just like you who believe in the power of yes. Yes to new opportunities. Yes to second chances. Yes to a fresh start. That's why we've helped over 4 million Canadians get access to a credit card. Because at Capital One, we say yes, so you don't have to hear another no. What will you do with your yes? Get the yes you've been waiting for at CapitalOne.ca/yes. Terms and conditions apply.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. Eyesight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Tavares down low looking for Matthews. He has Bunting in front of the net. Bunting scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face off outside the Detroit blue line. That was an old clip.
I didn't know you did games in the submarine.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Carlos swinging it off a leg and down into Red Wing territory, but it's rolling on edge. And will produce an icing, and they'll bring it all the way back into the Toronto zone.
24 shots for the Red Wings. Only 3 players, Joe, haven't registered a shot on goal. Jonathan Berglund, Michael Rasmussen, and Ben Sherrod are the only Red Wings that have not found the net. The Leafs have not forced Cam Talbot to do anything here in the second period.
Played down into the Red Wing zone. Nylander chased after it. Domi up against the end boards, can't come up with it. And the Wings will make a little touch pass and play to open ice, forcing Morgan Rielly back for it. Rielly gets it off the boards and out. And this is going down into Detroit territory, but icing waved off. Bernard Docker got it on the wing, but not out. Matthews has cut it off. Now Matthews makes a spinning move, works back towards the blue line, sent a backhand towards Mple, but it was out of his reach, and it's back into the center ice area, and the Leafs give the puck away, but fortunately, one of the Red Wings was trapped inside the zone and was a delayed offside, had it played in. Mple onto the right wing side for defenseman Tanev. Long shoot in is into the glove and going to be held by Cam Talbot. 3:12 to play in the second period, and so far the bathtub is flowing just one way. 2 goals for the Leafs in the first period at that end of the rink. 2 goals for the Red Wings in the second period at that end of the rink.
What the difficult part of losing a forward early in a game, now it just messes up the whole forward group. That's why you've seen Nylander drop back and play with Nick Waugh. You've seen Robertson move up to play with Tavares and Bobby McMahon.
Face off to the left of Talbot.
Matthews' line has really stayed together.
Matthews with a wrist shot towards the net that went off a body and went wide. Benoit pinches to keep the puck in deep. Now the Red Wings trying to bank it off on the far side, but defenseman got there to play it back to the blue line, and the Leafs have it again. A pass by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, though, was intercepted. Detroit bringing it back with 2:50 to play in the period, and in across the line. Good hit there by Benoit to spin his man off the puck, as Finney couldn't get by the Leaf defenseman. Up against the end boards, though, for Raymond. Raymond sends it around the boards. The Leafs come away with it, and now Matthews starting away at center. Up on the right side now for Nylander. Back in for Matthews. That deflected just wide. Sent around on the left wing boards for Riley. Riley around on the far side. Trying to keep the puck alive was Matthews. Back to the point. Long shot deflected wide. Centered in front of the net. Off the stick of Dakota Joshua. And it's back out into the center ice area. Riley. Pass broken up by Detroit. Brought in by Patrick Kane. Kane into the slot. Bouncing shot went off of a foot wide of the net. Kane with it in the near half board. Centered again in the slot. Wrist shot coming. Pad save made by Stolarz. Wings again in front. Score! Kane off to the near side. A great goal mouth pass. And the Wings have come all the way back and taken a 3-2 lead.
Really hung out their goaltender to dry here in the second period. Not for Stolarz. This could be 5 or 6 deep for the Red Wings. Made a huge stop off the rush just before that. Now everybody gets sucked to the side of the rink on the right wing side from Stolarz, and Patrick Kane is wide open to the left of the Red Wing or the Leaf goaltender, and just one times the short side before the Leafs can recover. But there is nobody near Patrick Kane when he slams it home.
Goal comes at 18-10. First of the season for Kane, but he's had his fingers all over this comeback. Picking up an assist on the Casper goal to get them into the game.
Looks like the Leafs are going to get a power play. This game either, does it?
No. Puck comes out on the left wing side. McMahon with a long diagonal shoot into the right wing corner. Too far for Nylander. Batted along the boards. Nylander got it to Kane, or to McMahon, but couldn't get it out. And back come the Red Wings as they'll play it in over the line with J.T. Comper sending it around back of the Toronto goal. 1:04 to go in the period. McMahon got it ahead. The Leafs have launched it down the ice. Robertson racing after it, but won't get there in time. Back come Detroit. Leading now by a 3-2 count. Kane with a shot. A rebound off the far side sends Robertson away. Nick Robertson, left wing side for Domi. Stops up at the blue line. Tried to send a backhand pass to the left wing, but it hit the Detroit player. I think that was Kane. Almost hit him right in the mouth. Puck to the side and into the zone for Joshua. Dakota Joshua for the Leafs, and Domi fighting for possession as it goes to the side of the goal and is going to be flipped high to center ice. Larkin trying to break in, got a shot away, and that was stopped by Stolarz.
Well, Morgan Riley close to a holding penalty there.
10 seconds left in the period as a bouncing shot goes in on the Red Wing goal. And a huge second period for Detroit will come to a close.
The Leafs last season set a franchise record for 25 wins on the road. They're going to have to be a lot better in the third period if they're going to get win number 1 away from home. And this season, yeah, Morgan Riley got beat coming back into his own zone as Dylan Larkin took off, picked up the bouncing puck at center. And Anthony Stolarz again bails his team out, because that, as bad as it was, giving up 3 goals, it could have been worse. Much worse.
Yeah, you're right. Kane from DeBrincat and Johansson to give the Wings the lead. We'll step aside. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert will send you through the second period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
MLB Network Radio on SiriusXM has on-site coverage of the American League Championship Series. This is Danny Wexelman. Join me, Jim Duquette, former manager Derek Shelton, and former outfielder Ryan Spilborghs for pre- and post-game coverage of every ALCS game.
The first career postseason home run for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
hear from managers, players, and executives 3 hours before first pitch of every League Championship Series game on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mountain. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch high where we haven't been able to cover. So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking? Hi. Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have a take and don't suck. That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Pass broken up by Detroit, brought in by Patrick Kane. Kane into the slot. Bouncing shot went off of a foot wide of the net. Kane with it in the near half board. Centered again in the slot. Wrist shot coming. Pad save made by Stolarz. Wings again in front. Score! Kane off to the near side. A great goal mouth pass. And the Wings have come all the way back and taken a 3-2 lead.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. 3-2 lead for the Red Wings after 40 minutes, coming all the way back, as Joe Bowen put it, and ahead with 3 goals in the second period. That was not pretty hockey for the Maple Leafs.
No, only so much Anthony Stolarz could do. That was a one-way traffic in favor of the Red Wings. We talked about Todd McClellan tearing a strip off his guys, or at least through the media after game 1. He might have done it in, excuse me, in the intermission directly to his guys, because that was pretty ugly.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. How's everyone going? Give me one second to get my camera up and running here. I haven't used OBS in a hot minute. Video capture device. Here we go. Okay, let me shrink my mug here. Fuck. There we go. What the everyone doing tonight? We just hit 101 subscribers. So thanks everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? I just figured I'd come on camera and talk to everyone for a couple minutes when we are at intermission here. Oh, God damn. Brandy, Rod, Carmen. Who else is in here? Stefan, Mark. Sherry, Andrew. Rockin' Ronaldo. Pablo. Francisco. Did I get everybody? Andrew, hello? I think that's everybody. Everybody I can see. No sound. Can you guys hear me? The fuck? Can you guys hear me all right? Yes, no, yes, no. All right, how's that? We good? I turned it up. We good? Can everyone hear me? It's actually a cider can. Everybody good? Good? All right. Where's my phone? There it is. I just figured I'd come on here, talk to everyone for a couple minutes. Let's see. Mark says, just saw the highlights, and that was a sweet goal from CJ. I haven't been watching the game. I have been watching college football, and then I just turned the Jackets game on. Jackets are up 1-0. See, got a bowl of leftover rice, got a cider. My Saturday night's going good. Julia says, I leave for half an hour and come back to this. Unbelievable. Hey. 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in hockey, apparently. Yep. Watched the Ohio State game today, too. Hold on, Brandy. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do something for you. There you go. Julia, I'm just talking to you guys for a couple minutes. I'll put the audio back up here in a minute, actually. Is the audio too loud for the radio? Can you guys hear it okay? No problem, Brandy. I think I got all the TSI mods modded. Andrew, were you a mod for TSI? Trying to get all the TSI mods in. But yeah, okay. I promise I won't take up much of anybody's time because I think the third period is about to start. I just wanted to say this is my second night doing Leafs games, and we have surpassed 100 subs already on the channel. So I just wanted to say thank you all for that. And this is my second channel. This isn't even my main channel. Oh, Rod was too? I got you, Rod. Give me a sec. I got you, Rod. There you go, Rod. I think that's everybody now. Jeff says, guys, is this for real? I mean, you're looking at me. I guess I'm real, I think. You should have it now. Rod. So let's go ahead. It's not going to let me. Let's go ahead and take a look at other scores from around the NHL. So, ESPN. Oh, that's college football. We don't want that. We want NHL. Is it going to give me the NHL? Okay, full scoreboard. Here we go. So, into the second period, Bruins lead the Sabres 2-0. Red Wings lead the Leafs 3-2. Devils up 3-2 over the Lightning. Panthers up 4-1 over the Senators. Capitals up 4-1 over the Islanders. Rangers up 4-1 over the Penguins. Hurricanes up on the Flyers 3-2. Canadiens and Blackhawks tied 2-2. Mammoth and Predators tied 1-1. Blue Jackets up over the Wild 1-0. And then the upcoming games tonight are Stars, Avalanche, Canucks, Oilers, Ducks, Sharks, Golden Knights, Kraken, and the other games that went final were Winnipeg. The Jets beat the Kings 3-2, and the Blues beat the Flames 4-2. So there's all the scores from today, all caught up. And it looks like, okay, we got a Chick-fil-A ad, so I'll just let that go. Anybody who's watching the game, can you tell me how close to the third period is getting to start? Because I don't want to miss the third period start. I got a bowl of leftover rice. Yeah, I don't have an ad blocker, so I mean, there's really not much I can do with the ads. I pretty much got the Chick-fil-A one memorized at this point. So, before I let you all go, where's my mouse? There she is. I wanted to, before I let you guys go, what are your third period predictions? Because we got another 20 minutes left of hockey for the Leafs to tie up here. Third period is about to start, it looks like. So on that note, I'll get you guys back to Joe Bowen, and I will get out of here. So everyone, enjoy the third period. Thank you for 101 subscribers. Let's do this shit again Monday afternoon, shall we? Until then, peace out, guys. Enjoy the rest of the night. I'm out of here.
Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong, Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan, and
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group, and thus I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change, and we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM, the Leafs Radio Network.
Three teams in the NHL, including the Detroit Red Wings, are celebrating their 100th anniversaries this year. The New York Rangers and the Chicago Blackhawks are also celebrating that milestone.
Yeah, the special jerseys that the Red Wings are wearing tonight. They wore them against Montreal in the opener as well.
Leafs trail 3-2. Defend the goal to our left and the Red Wings to the right on your radio dial as the puck is down in the Toronto zone, and Nylander starts out down the right wing. He'll shoot the puck in around the boards. Stopped back at the net by Talbot. Fired off the glass and around. And it caroms off the glass and goes out of play. So a face-off will come in the Toronto zone.
One penalty in the game so far, Brandon Carlo, late in the first period. As far as the Leafs have had success in Detroit, but the preseason game they played, the Leafs had a 5-3 lead. Late in that game, Red Wings scored twice, and then a power play goal in overtime completed the comeback for them.
Turned out to be the only game that James Reimer would play. Shot goes wide of the Red Wing goal. Played in around the boards. Leafs trying to drag it out of the corner. And it comes around the wall to the near side. Launched high out and down into Detroit territory, and an icing is going to come here. Two teams return to Toronto to complete the back-to-back. And as mentioned, that game has been moved up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Scotiabank Arena.
Well, I did ask you, I don't remember the last 2 o'clock start. We've had some 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock starts for the next gen games. I don't remember it. No. I have to go back to Buffalo, Toronto in the conference final.
Might be a while ago. Play it around the boards out into the left wing side. Leafs get it to center. Bank it in over the line. Trying to drive past the check there was Tavares, who got hauled down. Way to go, Ralphie. Nicely done. Yeah. You predicted that like no one. You know, that's just years of experience of doing this job.
It's either that or mention a shutout, right?
Yes. Well, the Leafs are going to go to the power play.
And John Tavares did a pretty good job of selling this as well.
So Michael Brandtzig-Nygaard, who will forever be known as MBN, is in the penalty box, and the Leafs are going to the power play here in the third period. It was not very good in game one. 0 for 2 and a minus because they gave up a shorthanded goal. Leafs win the draw. Riley in the slot. Wrist shot coming. And it goes off his stick and up into the screen out of play. Nyes was right on the doorstep.
Now you've got right off the face, you've got Austin Matthews playing the left wing side. Usually you've got a guy playing his off wing. You prefer to have him the other side?
I want him on his forehand at the net. Yep, on the right wing side and just doing the opposite that Alex Ovechkin does and shoot it. Face off in the circle to the left of Cam Talbot. Won cleanly by Tavares. Riley walks the middle of the ice. Drops it back to Matthews. High slot. Wrist shot coming. Talbot got a piece of that. And it caroms off him and goes all the way down into the Leaf zone. Riley coming out. Banks it off the boards and Matthews is the trailer. He'll work it to center and give it off to Nylander. Across the line it goes to Tavares. On to Riley. Top of the circle. A shot by Matthews that time from where exactly you want him to be. But the penalty is over. High stick catching one of the Red Wings, and I think it's Matthews who's going to go to the penalty box.
And the question now is it 2 or 4? The Red Wing player is still down. In behind the net. Right after Austin Matthews had a blast that just wouldn't go. And that's what we talked about, right? Having him in that off wing side. It was Ben Sherratt that he caught.
Oh, that was a careless swipe of the stick that was shoulder high that had no chance of even thinking of getting to the puck. Sherratt seems to be all right. 2-minute penalty to Matthews for high sticking, and we're at 4-on-4. Minute 21 of 4-on-4 hockey. Face-off down in the Toronto zone. Tavares taking the face-off against Kasper, except that Tavares just got waved out. Kasper lost the draw. McCabe circles the Toronto goal. Drops it instead to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who gives to Nylander, and Nylander's coming through neutral ice. Played off on the left wing, just in over the line. Onto the right wing side for OEL. He gets it along the boards, but is double teamed over there. And the puck turned over, and Albert Johansson has it under control now for Detroit. Brought on by Johansson. Red Wings with a 3-2 lead in the third period. Played off on the left wing for Andrew Kopp. He comes to the Leaf line and in. Works to the right wing, top of the circle. Got it off on the corner boards, but lost it there. Then regained by a centering pass by Kasper, but it's onto the stick of Domi, and Domi brings it to center for the Maple Leafs. Riley going to the front of the net. Domi in, scores! Max Domi, with a bit of traffic in front of Talbot, is able to find the back of the net. And the Leafs have tied the game at 3.
Well, it's a 3-on-3 rush out of the Leaf zone and over the Red Wing line. Domi pulls up. Riley and Nyes head to the net and take some bodies with them. And Max Domi, just from the high slot, puts this. I think this goes right along the ice through the maze and past Talbot to tie this game at 3.
Max scored just 8 times last year with 33 points. But gets a big goal here to tie this game at 3.
Boy, looking at it again, this actually just goes over the left pad under the catching hand of Talbot, off his hip and in.
Wings get it down into the Toronto zone. McCabe takes his man to the corner boards. Pushed it along the wall and up on the wing, and the Leafs are able to break it out with a saucered pass toward center. Leafs bring it to the line and in, right wing side. Roy with a shot. Good pad save made by Talbot. Leafs on the power, or at least the Wings on the power play now for the second time in the game. They get it into the Toronto zone. 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Stolen by Nyes and whipped out and down the ice. Sider will go back. He will drop it off. Lucas Raymond starts back for Detroit. 5 seconds left before Matthews is out of the box. Played around into the near corner. Carlo got it up on the wing, and the Leafs are going to get it out into center ice as Matthews has come over the boards and is back onto the ice. Wings in on the left wing, though. Lucas Raymond sends it down into the corner. McCabe, a little head fake there, looking for his defense partner and finding Chris Tanev. Tanev gets it ahead. Robertson couldn't get it around one man. Now gets an opportunity to get it out and gets to center and chips it down into the Red Wing zone. Leafs 3 and the Red Wings 3. Kopp into the Toronto end. Down into the left wing corner, comes back to the point. Walking in there with it now, Edvinsson. Edvinsson dropping it off. It comes back to the blue line once more. Kept alive by TJ Compher. Long shot. Blockered away and scooped into the corner then by Stolarz. Leafs don't get it out initially, but now it does squirt to center. Quickly brought back in again by Andrew Kopp. Played back of the net. Quickly played into the corner to Oliver Ekman-Larsson by the goaltender. And the Leafs get it out at center, and Robertson sends it high into the Red Wing corner. Michelli can't get there. Red Wings bring it right back at center. Working in on the right side, Marco Kasper, and the shot is swallowed up by Anthony Stolarz to stop play. 14:59 to go in the third period, but the Leafs are being outshot 30-19 in a 3-3 tie.
And especially the second period where Red Wings scored all 3 of their goals. Anthony Stolarz actually kept the Leafs in the game.
Now, it's nothing new for the Leafs to be outshot. 33 wins when they were outshot a year ago. Now, the Red Wings keep the puck in with a backhand by Kane that went wide. Michelli got lifted off the puck to keep that alive. Long shot is being deflected up into the screen.
It looks like Patrick Kane has dialed the clock back about 10 years in this game. He seems dangerous every time he's on the ice.
Boy, what a career he had with Jonathan Toews in Chicago.
Yeah, it's great to see. I watched part of the Winnipeg game this afternoon. Great to see Jonathan Toews back in the NHL, playing in his hometown of Winnipeg.
Face off in the Toronto zone to the left of Stolarz. Caden Primo, the backup goaltender for the Maple Leafs. Still no word on Joseph Wall's eventual availability. Marley's won for the first time this season today and brought to center ice by Nylander, but doesn't get it in deep. And then one of the Red Wings went for a sprawl. Fans hollering for a penalty, but brought back by Lucas Raymond. Tried to whirl it in front of the net, and he was taken down apparently by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And this is a call, I think, that went, maybe I let that one go. We'll call a cheap one here, and that seems to be it. Sherratt, Matthews having a word, and McCabe is in taking up the shield of the Leaf captain.
Well, Jake McCabe comes jumping in, and
Matthews took his man down. That was Emmett Finney.
Might have been a penalty at the other end, and yeah, that's just Ekman-Larsson just does.
Toronto number 95, 2-minute minor, trip it.
Just does get his stick blade into the skates of the Red Wing player. That's the second penalty that Raymond has drawn here in this game.
So, Oliver Ekman-Larsson to the penalty box. And the Red Wings go to the power play for the third time in the game. Draw to the right of Anthony Stolarz. Won by Toronto. Fed into the corner and iced on a bounce down on the Red Wing goal. Seider is back. Little stutter step, had it knocked off his stick, and the Leafs fire it the rest of the way down the ice again. Whoa! Cam Talbot almost stepped on the puck. Went for a header. Rings get it in across the line. Larkin into the corner. Stolen there by the Leaf defense, but not cleared. Played around the boards and in. Kane on the near boards. Got it for Larkin. Fed to the far point. Kept alive there. Raymond works it into the corner. Gets it back to the blue line. Sider. Left wing side for Kane. Kane into the corner. Still with it. Drops it off. Back to Sider. Over on the far side. Gets it returned. Sider returning the favor again. Now cross ice and a one-timer. Attempted there by DeBrincat. And that went off a Leaf stick. It comes across to Kane again in front. They score! Lucas Raymond in front of the net restores the Detroit lead as the Leafs give up the first power play goal of the season.
As we said last year, the Red Wings were the 4th best power play in the NHL. And you can see here, this is a crafty play after Chris Tanev blocks one. Red Wings get it back and a perfect seam pass from Patrick Kane onto the stick of Lucas Raymond, who one-times it to the right of goaltender Stolarz, and the Red Wings have regained their 1-goal lead here in the 3rd period.
And Patrick Kane has a 3-point night, a goal and 2 helpers.
Now you give Raymond credit. Go to an open spot, give Kane a target, he's going to find you. This was from the right wing circle to the bottom of the left wing circle. Perfect pass.
Yeah, pretty good one-timer by Raymond. Leafs have to go back to their own zone to recover a loose puck. Send it down into the Detroit end. No icing. Talbot plays in along the boards, but the Leafs don't get there in time to keep it in. Detroit left wing side and in now for Edvinsson. Long shot went wide of the Leaf goal. Brought back on the right wing side now by Toronto, and a flip in. Trying to get to it is Domi, but I think he's going to be called for a penalty.
Yep.
He reached around and held on to the Red Wing player to get around him and hauled down Jonathan Berggren. And the Leafs are going to be a man short again after giving up the go-ahead goal.
And that's another easy one to call. Only one minor penalty call in the first 2 periods. We've had 4 already called here in the 3rd. This is the 3rd one against the Leafs.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Your home for the biggest stories in the league is Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Hi, this is Bob Popper from Airing It Out. The International Series continues in Week 6 with the Broncos and Jets in London. We discuss the early season surprises. Plus, we get you ready for a potential Super Bowl preview with the Lions and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Throwing Enzo caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Game pretty much on the line right here with the Leafs trailing by 1, but now facing the Red Wing power play again for a second time in a row. 12:37 left to play in the 3rd period. Draw one cleanly by Detroit. Sider in on the half board. The centering pass. Oh, and it just went off Kane's stick and went wide. Wings get it back to the blue line. Raymond down into the corner. challenged by Tanev. Round back of the net. McCabe couldn't come up with it. Wings keep it on the perimeter. Lucas Raymond working in on the half boards. Now to Larkin. Back to the point. Sider. Pass across. Good stick there by the Leafs. Roy, and deflects it out at center ice. Leafs are getting a change of penalty killers. Wings back in their own zone. DeBrincat for Kane. Off a stick, and that off the stick forced the puck offside. And it'll be brought back into the center ice area.
And then Nick Waugh out with Kelly Yarncroc on the penalty kill, but it was Waugh's quick stick. I mean, this could have been a one-timer again. Moments after Patrick Kane had an opportunity to the left of Anthony Stolarz, but Nick Waugh reading the play, got a stick on it, and knocked it back out over the line.
Minute 20 left to go in the power play for Detroit as they get it into the Toronto zone and get it back to the blue line. In on the boards in the far corner for Kane. Tried to center. Larkin lost it. Leafs get it, and out and down the ice it goes. Sider upended in a collision there with the Leaf penalty killing forward as the Wings get it into the Toronto zone to Kane. Kane takes it wide, works around back of the net to the far corner, slides it back to the point. Long shot coming in traffic, deflected off the stick of Santin Palika. He gets it again at the blue line. Raymond far side. Kane holding, looking for a man in front. Gets it back again on the far half boards. Back it goes to the defense. Sandin Palika gave the puck away. And the Leafs Matthews coming to center. He's just going to launch it into the left wing corner. Leafs get there with McCabe getting it back, and it's poked out at center ice. But Roy is there for Toronto. A dozen seconds left in the penalty as the Leafs ice the puck. It'll come to the side of the goal, thrown aside by Cam Talbot. 6 seconds left. Good work down low by Dakota Joshua, but out come the Red Wings to center. They did not get a shot on goal in that power play. Brought into the zone. Appleton playing it around back of the net. Brandon Carlo had it knocked away. Got it onto his stick. And the Leafs have played it off the boards, but not out initially. Domi gets there to try and push it out, but can't. Wings keep it in. Far side now for Appleton. Played around back of the net. Leafs get it freed up. Domi with some skating room and a lead pass. Springs it in over the line for Nylander. His shot is off the mark wide. First time that Nylander's been dangerous. Under 10 minutes to play in the third. Leafs trail by 1. Shot around the boards and into the Red Wing zone. Punched along the boards by Michelli. Matthews, or at least Tavares, couldn't come up with it. Nylander then had it turned over. Played back in over the line for Detroit. Kasper carries into the corner. Left-handed shot looking in front of the net. And his pass was knocked away, and the Leafs get it out at center. Nylander takes his man to the boards. Kane gets it in over the line. Kane trying to drop it back and has. Kasper had his pass intercepted. Leafs with a bank pass out at neutral ice. Played by Robertson to the line, but not in deep. Robertson gets it back again. Brought in this time by McMahon. Bobby McMahon into the corner. McMahon has taken off the puck as Bernard Docker stole it away from him, and the Wings launch it high down into the Toronto end. 8:53 to play, third period. Detroit 4, the Maple Leafs 3. Long shoot and is stopped by Talbot. McMahon got the puck in deep. Robertson to Domi. Domi back of the goal, trying to center. It'll come back to the blue line, out of the reach of Tanev, and out into neutral ice. McCabe back in across the line. Domi's in behind the defense. In a goal! Shot it over top of the net on the backhand. Oh, what a chance Max Domi just had there to tie it. Wings will play it down in on goal. McCabe looks up ice. Now we've got Edmondson and McMahon shoving with one another, and they're going to be coincident minor penalties here.
And what a great opportunity by Max Domi. You love the speed though, right? Takes the pass on the fly on the left wing side. That's in behind the Red Wing defense. Makes a great move on Talbot. But put the backhand up and over.
74, both each.
Oh, just missed that bar. And then McMahon and the Red Wings defender Simon Edvinsson end up going to the penalty box. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. EyeSight Driver Assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Ugh, standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Bet365. Partner of the NHL. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca. T&Cs apply.
Okay. First question. When does Desjardins Insurance suggest you switch to winter tires?
Below 7 degrees. Easy.
Nice. Next, what's a smart way to save money on your home insurance?
Switch to Desjardins Insurance and you could save up to $900 when you bundle home and auto. Easy.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs trail in the game 4-3. With 8:06 left to play in the third period and are being outshot 32-20.
I think if they get some sort of push here late, should at least be able to draw a penalty, right?
You would hope.
4-1. Power play advantages for Detroit to this point.
Wings get it out at center. To the line and in. 4-on-4 for another minute 46. Taken down back of the net. The puck in front of the Leaf goal. Matthews couldn't get it free. Down into the left wing corner it goes. Riley cross-checked his man from behind and knocked him down, but there was no call. Out of the net now Stolarz. Playing it into the corner for Morgan Riley. Riley starts slowly out of his own zone. Got it ahead, and Matthews is in over the line, but he's surrounded by Red Wings. He drops it back for Nylander. Nylander twirls around back of the net. Matthews trying to find open ice. Nylander still with the puck as he's at the blue line. He goes to Tanev. Tanev lurks in front of the net. Can't find anybody. Send it back to the blue line, and it's going to come out at center ice. Matthews turns with it there. Matthews swinging it back. Tanev to the line and in for Nylander. Nylander works back along the boards and pulls up. Works back the other way. A little stutter step to the left wing boards. Carries down into the corner. Trying to get it out in front of the net. Matthews couldn't get a shot. Matthews back to the point. Tanev looked back, but Matthews was headed for the bench. Down along the boards now it goes to McCabe. It comes in front of the net off a stick. And the Red Wings have broken up the cycle and now have it under control in their own end, with Moritz Seider taking it back of the net. 28 seconds left, 4-on-4. Craig Berube getting Nylander and Matthews out together. Now here are the Red Wings coming through neutral ice. In on the right side, a shot blockered away, cleared into the corner. Domi has it there for Toronto. His pass will find Morgan Riley at center. He plays it deeper into his own zone. Then a pass comes ahead and Nyes works in across the line. Into traffic, got hooked to the ice. No call there. Red Wings Johansson sends it down towards the net. Pushed to the corner then by Stolarz. And Riley against the boards plays into an empty corner. Occupied now by Mason Appleton. Back to the blue line, intercepted by Toronto. Played out at center ice by Bobby McMahon, who's out of the penalty box. The Leafs will regroup it back in their own zone. 5:34 to go third period. Wings hanging on to a 1-goal lead. Long pass off a body down into Detroit territory. Spun by Talbot around the boards. And out at center ice it comes. Lots of Leaf fans at Little Caesars Arena, as has been the case over the years. Hustling back Benoit to come up with a loose puck. He's dragged down. And a penalty coming to Detroit.
I think Berggren is going to go, and he's in disbelief. It's similar to some of the penalties the Leafs have taken in this game, and this comes in the offensive zone as well. 2 of the Leafs penalties, Domies and Austin Matthews, came in the offensive zone.
Pretty good grab twice with the open hand.
Now, I do think Benoit might have sold it, knowing what the penalty situation was. The Leafs a huge opportunity to get even here.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You know that feeling when the perfect song comes on while you're driving? We made a whole channel out of that. Road Trip Radio, packed with songs that always hit. You'll have the windows down and volume up before you know it. Road Trip Radio, channel 301 on most radios and at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games. Certainly with this year and what's kind of going on, it is something that we seriously have to look at. And if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Leafs Radio Network.
Need to catch a little lightning in the jar here with the Leafs on the power play for just the second time in the game. And the face-off in the Detroit zone to the right. Tavares lost the draw this time. And Sherratt swings it around the boards and down the ice it goes.
Well, Nylander took a high stick right off the face-off that went under tap. He was done over.
Brought out by Morgan Riley. Drop back now for Willie. Nylander to center to Matthews across the line, left wing side. Swings it around to Nylander, who let it go to the blue line. Kept alive by Tavares. Back to the point to Riley. Riley, cross ice pass to Matthews. Down into the corner for Nylander. Knies is stationed in front. Riley to Tavares. Wrist shot coming, blocked. Dropped it back for Riley. Riley to Matthews. Back it comes to Riley. Riley now to Matthews on the right wing side. Matthews in front for Tavares. A shot. And that was blocked at the defense in front of the net. Matthews spinning it back. Riley has it at the near point. Works to the left wing side. Nylander is there. Nylander closes. Cross ice Matthews. Now to Riley. Wrist shot. Sent high over top of the net. And it's found the screen. So a deflection, I guess. And that's going to keep the face-off in the offensive zone. And with 3:57, is this an opportunity to call timeout?
You don't know if you're going to do that or if you think you're going to wait until a minute or so with the net empty. One thing for sure, you got to keep your big boys on the ice.
Moritz Seider made a pretty good skate save.
That was on the Tavares shot, right?
Yep. 53 seconds left. draw scrummed, controlled by the Maple Leafs. They get it back to the point. Riley over on the far side for Nylander. Wrist shot coming. That deflected high. Batted with a glove, but Nylander is onto it. Back to the point to Riley. Near side Matthews. Matthews holds. Still with it. Back to Riley. Wrist shot coming. Deflected wide. Matthews can't get it away, though, from Edmondson. Edmondson with a large frame against the boards, but got blocked there by Nylander. Kept in by Riley. Bounced to an open wing, but kept alive by Matthews. He spins it back to the net. Tavares leaving it there for Nyes. Nyes up against the boards. Tavares trying to help him out. Nyes comes out of the scrum with it. Nyes into the corner. Centering pass comes back to the blue line. Matthews just able to keep it in. Now a one-timer from Matthews, and that was off the glove of Talbot. Penalty about to expire and has. Puck comes into the slot. Matthews shooting. That's stopped by Talbot. The rebound. They're jamming away at it. And Talbot somehow has a glove on it. Nyes being double teamed. Back of the goal.
Edmondson just hog-tied Nyes and threw him to the ice. Nyes looking for the loose puck in behind Talbot. Boy, Tavares just took a right to the face. But the Leafs' best opportunity comes after the penalty expired. Finally get it to the net. Nyes going to the box.
I don't know. We're getting a replay on the screen now, so can't tell you if it is. Good shot, though, by Matthews to get it in.
Yeah, I think Talbot grabs this off the goal line. I think this went off a body, got in behind him. Boy, he almost kicked it into his own net.
Almost kicked it in, yeah. So the faceoff will be in the Detroit zone when play resumes. 2:54 to play in the third period.
Like Nick Waugh is going to be out with Max Domi and Bobby McMahon.
Stolarz was out towards the bench to get information from the coaching staff. Mple, Waugh, and McMahon up front, and the Wings win the faceoff. Sider playing it up the boards and out into neutral ice. Bounces off his stick and goes out of play at the benches. And a faceoff will come in the center ice zone with 2:46 left to play in the third period.
Now, do you wait to take Stolarz out when you've got Matthews and the big boys on the ice?
I'd wait, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Hopefully a faceoff down in the Detroit end.
46 to go.
Leafs win the faceoff. McCabe had to go off his stick. Now Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets it up on the right wing, and Waugh is going to dump it into the right wing corner, and McMahon going in there after it. Waugh can't get there in time. Neither could Mple. It's set around to the near wing, and it is DeBrincat trying to get it out, and didn't. I guess he did. A diving effort by Jake McCabe. Looked like he had kept the puck in at the blue line, but the linesman says nay. So it'll be out into neutral ice. 2:22 left in the third period.
The thing is, with these whistles, though, you get Matthews and company a little more rest. I believe they may be heading back onto the ice right now.
One would anticipate.
Stolarz on the bench. No, Max Domi has come out.
Tavares is taking the face-off. Nylander is out there as well. And Matthews will probably be the replacement for the goaltender as it's flipped down into... Nope, Matthews is out there. They're going with just one defender, and that is Morgan Riley. Long shooting goes wide of the Leaf goal. Riley playing it around back of the net for Matthews. Matthews banking it back for Morgan Riley. Riley starts out on the right wing side. Now gets to the red line and flips it in on goal. Thrown aside by Cam Talbot. Rifled out and down the ice to the empty net. And it's in. We didn't know that Stolarz had left. We had no indication that he had left the net. So the Detroit Red Wings get a break and fire at the length of the rink for an empty net goal to take a 5-3 lead.
1:48 left. Edmondson was the one that just Picked it up. Morgan Riley dumped it in, but right on goal. And Talbot grabbed it, dropped it for his defenseman.
Pretty sure he yelled, the net's empty.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the reasons. Yeah, and he's getting the assist there from Edmondson.
But Morgan Riley's got to put that in the corner.
Yep.
When you're dumping the puck in, nobody's over the blue line yet. And you throw it right on net. And Ken Talbot does the right thing. He keeps it going, and it's 5-3 Red Wings.
18-12, the time of the goal. The Leafs had a 2-0 first period lead, but have squandered that. And the Red Wings are going to pick up their first win of the season. And the Leafs will suffer their first defeat of the season with the rematch coming on Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Played out into the center ice area. Goaltender out of the net again. And the Leafs have it on the left wing side, and they're bringing it out at center ice. Apologies that we didn't know the net was empty. As the Wings ice the puck this time and miss the empty net. Minute 2 to go. Face off in the Detroit zone.
Perfect shot, though, right?
It was a perfect shot from about 195 feet away.
Just to the left of goaltender now. Nick Waugh.
Won the face-off. It comes back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's pass was blocked. Cleared into the corner. Mple gets it around back of the net. Robertson spins it back to the blue line. Got it back again. Robertson sending it towards the net, but it was blocked. Puck in the corner. Robertson back of the net. Too far for Mple. Kept in at the point then by the Leafs, who sent it around back of the goal with 38 seconds to go. Trying to catch lightning in a jar here, but they have not been able to get anything to the net. Now to the side of the goal. Roy works into the corner. Still with it. Roy with a nifty move to get it freed up, and a centering pass is intercepted. And it'll be brought to center ice now with an empty net to look at, but Raymond couldn't send the shot. Leafs get it back in. Mple off a glove into the far corner. Sharp angle shot went wide. Wings get it again and into an empty net.
It was Andrew Clark, Joe, that JT Comfort picked it up right at the Red Wing blue line and just turned and fired it with 4.7 seconds left on the clock to put this one away. And the Red Wings will skate off with a 6-3 win, as you mentioned, a 2-0 first period lead by the Leafs. But it's not like they were dominant in the first period. In fact, Anthony Stolarz was the reason the Leafs were up 2. They scored a couple of goals, one off the rebound, one off the redirection of a point shot. And give the Red Wings credit. They stayed with it, dominated the Leafs in the second period, outscored them 3-0. And even though Max Domi was able to tie it at 3 in the third, the Leafs took some ill-advised penalties that ended up costing them, and that was really the difference of the game, was the power play goal in the third period by Lucas Raymond on a great setup by Patrick Kane.
Well, the Red Wings respond to their coach Todd McClellan's diatribe after the loss to the Montreal Canadiens. And 3 stars brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at desjardins.com/care today.
Well, I will go with the third star of the game, Ellis DeBrincat, 3 assists. Was dangerous for the Detroit Red Wings most of the night. Nick Waugh picked up his first goal as a Leaf, had an assist as well. He is star number 2, best player on the ice easily, Patrick Kane. A goal and 2 assists, and leading the Red Wings to their first victory of the season, and it comes at the hands of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Monday afternoon, these two teams collide again. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
There's a Molson with your name on it.
Don't sweat the Sunday morning fantasy football roster decisions.
Need your help, need your help, need your help.
Let the experts of Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio be your guides. Jeff Radcliffe, Jeff Mans, and Matthew Barry's Fantasy Life keep you informed with up-to-the-minute injury news and start-sit advice.